ball on his own and he seals it.
Right foot kick from
doing?
55. The big fella's got it. The big fella's kicked it.
They're
No
right
way.
No. That is highlight reel right there. He's kicked a goal. That is incredible.
On Aussie Digital, streaming live through VFL.com.au and on the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
And what a day it is here at Piranha Park in Coburg. Hello and welcome, Peter Jackson, VFL Live. It is the Coburg Lions, the Northern Blues, the Battle of Bell Street. But when we talk about importance of games on the field, it's an important day off the field as well. Today is the first Vicky Cleary tribute game and a very, very important cause to raise awareness of violence towards women, domestic violence in particular. And we've got a moment's silence to come up before the match starts today. Phil Cleary is here, and he's in tribute to his sister, Vicky Cleary, who was 25 years old when she was killed in an attack by an ex-boyfriend in Coburg in August 1987. And she was here when Phil played his 200th VFL match for the Lions, just 2 months prior, with Phil going on to coach his club to premierships in 1988 and 1989, and he has been a tireless campaigner for this particular issue. And today is all about raising awareness for this particular issue, which is an important one in the community. And certainly from the Victoria Police stats, 78,628 reports of family and violence incidents last year, an average of 214 a day, a 5.7% increase from 2015. So very, very important day today. As I say, we'll be having a minute's silence on the ground in around 10 minutes' time. Joining me in commentary today, not Michael Leeds, we welcome him for the first time for season 2017, Adam Saracoglu. Very nice to see you, Adam.
Good to be back, Peter. Hello to all the listeners out there. Love my battles with Bell Street. I've been to a couple of them now, covered them in one way or another, and it's always great to be back here at Coburg City Oval, Piranha Park, as it's known these days, and a great day for, obviously, the Vicky Cleary tribute. Unfortunately, those numbers that you just read out, it's staggering, isn't it, that we're still talking about this, I guess, in 2017, but hopefully days like this can do something about it. We know Phil Cleary's done a magnificent job in raising awareness for this type of issue, and we hope that it is eradicated sooner rather than later.
Before we go into the results from yesterday and Friday night's matches, joining us, he's back on the boundary after a week off. Glenn Hill, very nice to see you. What are the ground and weather conditions? It's a beautiful day here today.
G'day, boys, and great to be back on deck. It's a really important game out at Coburg today. The ground conditions are a little bit soft underfoot. You couldn't say there is a breeze favouring one end or the other at the moment, but as we know, out at Coburg can pick up very quickly.
Certainly can. We noticed that Daisy Thomas, if you're just joining us, is playing in the Northern Blues side today. Reece Palmer also playing. Dennis Armfield among the Carlton listed players. Blaine Boakhurst, Cam Polson. So plenty of talent in that Northern Blues lineup. And they're taking on a Coburg Lions side that's been dogged, albeit slow to start. They haven't kicked a goal in the opening quarter in the opening 2 rounds. So they'll want to turn that around today, and they'll certainly be coming out hard and fast to start off things in this opening quarter. The results already from round 3 in the Peter Jackson VFL. Footscray on Friday night, 25-13, 163. Thrashed North Ballarat, 5-9-39. A couple of 4 players with 3 goals, including Mitch Wallace, who was judged best on ground. Nick Rippon, 2 goals for North Ballarat, and they go up and down, up and down. They haven't won a game yet. Thrashed in the opening round, thrashed in round 3. In the other games, Geelong 14-8-92, knocking off Casey 8-8-56. Stanley with 3 goals for the Cats. Scott with 3 goals for Casey. Sandringham 17-11-113, defeating Collingwood 12-21-93. And for the Sandringham side, Paddy McCartan, for all Saints fans, 7 goals, best on ground. He should be getting a call up to the St Kilda side for next week's game. For the Pies, Kirby with 3 goals. Werribee 14-13-97, defeating Essendon 9-20-74. Inaccurate kicking from both Collingwood and Essendon. Thomas 4 goals for Werribee. and a host of multiples for the Bombers. And Port Melbourne 14-14-98 defeated Richmond 9-14-68. Kane and Conway 3 goals each for Port Melbourne, and for the Tigers, Lloyd kicking 4 goals. So it means that the ladder has one team that's undefeated standing at the top, and that is Port Melbourne. 3 wins, no losses. And then comes Richmond, Footscray and Box Hill, who have a game in hand. They're on, Richmond, Footscray are on 2-1. Then you got Box Hill, who have yet to play. They're 2-0 at the moment. Chance to go 3-0 today. Then you've got Geelong and Sandringham sitting at 2-1. And then in 7th place comes Essendon on 1-2. Williamstown, who are playing Box Hill today in around 10 minutes' time. That's at 1-1. And the Northern Blues sitting at 1-1. Casey are 1-2. Werribee 1-2. Collingwood 1-2. And then Coburg, a chance to move to 1-2. They haven't had a win yet this season, and North Ballarat anchored to the bottom of the ladder. Their percentage 29.67. Not good reading if you're a North Ballarat fan. We knew they were going to struggle coming into this season, but gee, they're being belted at the moment, and we hope that they're able to turn that around, Adam. But Port Melbourne, I think probably one of the more surprising teams, considering the struggle to get them on the park this season. They're exceeding expectations, I would say.
Absolutely. It's a really delicate time for all the standalone clubs that are remaining in the VFL. We're going to see one of them today here in Coburg that have had their, on-field difficulties in the last couple of years as well, finishing the lower half of the ladder. But to see one standalone team undefeated on top, given that we know round one the players were playing essentially for the love of the jumper, obviously, to try and look after the footy club. And then to get a good win again yesterday in the TV game, Port Melbourne going really well. But on the other end of the spectrum, you really worry about where North Ballarat is at. And they suffered some of these sorts of defeats last year as well. I think it was actually Footscray last year at the VU Whitten Oval where they really struggled as well, and to see what happened on Friday night. So that's just a delicate balance of where I guess a lot of VFL teams are at the moment. But obviously, the other thing that impacts on the VFL is the AFL aligned teams, and you spoke about Paddy McCartan with the Sandringham kicking 7. Well, does he get back into that side after St Kilda does what they did against Hawthorn last week? And then you talk about Carlton beating Sydney yesterday. How many of the guys that we are going to see out here today playing for the Northern Blues are a chance of getting back out there for Carlton next week? We are talking, I guess, particularly about Dale Thomas. Do you bring a Dale Thomas back into a side that was good enough to beat Sydney yesterday?
Well, they got Collingwood next week, so it will be interesting to see. It's interesting. Well, what did you make of Hawthorn St Kilda yesterday?
I didn't really get to see it, to be honest. I was doing the day job, but Josh Bruce missed, though. I did see that one from the goal square. We hope we don't see any of that today, but that's just where... Just
thought I'd just rub it in.
Nah,
being
a
Hawk supporter that you are.
4 flags in 10 years, I'll take that.
Yes, okay. You've always got that reminder there. 2 weeks ago, Hilly, we were going to ask you who you thought might actually win the flag this season. We never did quite get around to it. Now we've got a bit more of a sample size. What are you sort of thinking?
Probably an early tip at the moment would be Port Melbourne, boys. I'm very impressed with the way they've recruited in the off season, and their first 3 games have been outstanding, and they really have put the opposition to the sword in the first 3 games.
Just on that recruiting, they deliberately went after ex-AFL players in the off season.
Yes. Yep.
As well as bringing back a couple of players that have been there before, Valenti and I think Wolfenden was the other one as well.
Yep.
But that's the thing, though. The AFL talent walks into that club because it's just the environment. Working under Gary Ayres, he's always had that knack, and it's certainly continuing here. Now, both teams are actually getting ready to stand for the minute silence. We've had the warm-up, both players getting out on... Well, both teams getting out on the field a little bit earlier. We had the Development League, which was a win for Coburg, by the way, 94-81 over the Blues, and that was a little bit earlier today. As I noticed, Dennis Armfield just shaking hands with Phil Cleary down there on the ground.
We're just getting set up downstairs, Pete. At the moment, there might be a microphone issue for the crowd in terms of amplifying Phil's words, but we'll be able to bring Phil's words live to VFL Live.
Yep. Okay. Well, as we see the dignitaries that are set up there, Rosie Batty here today, special guest at the lunch, the special lunch held by the club, as the teams have lined up, and Phil Cleary now is getting to the microphone to speak. when it actually does end up working.
Healy might be front and centre here.
Might have to just pick up what he's saying. You probably don't need to get too close, but at the moment we've got the only working mics.
Problems, but I have a booming voice from the old VFA days. Do you want me to just go with the voice? Thank you all for coming to celebrate the life of Vicky Cleary. Her spirit bounces across the sky today. She's a symbol of the struggle to stop men being violent to women. She's a symbol of what we must love in the world, a woman's independence and right to be separated from a man. I thank you, coaches Josh Fraser and Peter German, for bringing your boys together, Josh and Peter, in this great act of symbolism about the struggle to stop violence against women. Do you know that this boy, Tommy Goodwin, is 25 years of age and will be 26 in October? He is the same age as the Vicky Cleary we lost. Today he is the embodiment of Vicky Cleary, born in the same month. Thank you all as we now go into a minute's silence, and I say before that at the end of the game we will present a figurine which is the symbol of women's independence and Vicky as a metaphor for the girls lost to families such as these. We want to end the violence. We want to stop men shooting women dead in Wangaratta and thinking it is their privilege. Thank you all. Take the spirit with you, and you men on the terraces, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. A minute's silence to Vicky and the women lost. Thank you very much. You and peace to everyone in the audience today. Thank you.
Very nicely done. Phil Cleary front and centre. He hasn't lost that booming voice. Didn't need the microphone at all.
That had more impact without the microphone.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. Absolutely. As Gary O'Sullivan, the general manager of the Northern Blues, shakes hands with Phil as well. And certainly the message well and truly getting across. So the teams now, just brief warm-up before we get stuck into this one. Who are you liking today, Adam?
I think two sides that need a win, obviously, particularly for Coburg, that are still winless this year, but it's just so important to bank W's early in the season, and particularly as well when you do think about Carlton perhaps going a little bit better than expected at the moment. There's probably a bit more pressure on some of these AFL listed guys that are out here today for the Northern Blues to perform, no doubt. All of the Carlton coaching staff are going to be out here watching this one. So,
Sorry boys, just talking to Phil Cleary there. We should be able to grab Phil for a 10-minute interview at half time.
Perfect. And who are you liking today in the game?
I think I'm going to stick with the Northern Blues in a really close battle today, actually.
All right, let's see. Big issue for Coburg in the opening quarter. In the last two rounds, they haven't been able to get a score on the board. We'll keep you updated with the Around the Grounds and the AFL match underway between Essendon and Melbourne. And we'll bring you a score from that. The other game of Peter Jackson VFL, it's Williamstown and Box Hill today. We'll bring you some live scores as the afternoon goes along. 3-5-23 apiece, Essendon and Melbourne. And the other match we'll be following is Geelong and Collingwood a bit later on. But the team's getting into position. Tom Goodwin, the captain, going to start off in the ruck. Andrew Phillips will be his opponent. Another addition, this long and storied rivalry, the Battle of Bell Street. Suburban neighbours, Coburg and the Northern Blues. Let's get this one started. Good crowd at Piranha Park as well. And here's Adam Sarakoglu on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
For another Battle of Bell Street underway, Phillips gets the first tap down for the Northern Blues, but didn't quite go to advantage. A little kick from Hunt, really didn't go far. We're still around the centre circles. Hunt got the handball back. Coburg trying to work it. They're going towards Harding Street in the opening term. They will go inside 50 now. And we've got a genuine one-on-one. Getting front position late was Cleary. Couldn't take the mark. Barty is there for the Lions as well. He tackled Jones. Ball up left forward pocket.
We should mention that Cleary you mentioned is Tom Cleary from Tasmania, no relation to Phil.
Phil does have a couple of boys playing at West Coburg in the local Essendon District League at the moment. The ball goes out of bounds, boundary throw-in.
Nice little bit of push and shove down there too, Adam.
Don't expect anything less in the Battle of Bell Street. Boundary throw-in. Good crowd here at Coburg City Oval today. Umpire brings this in. Just hit ground level there, and good pressure by the Blues. 3 tacklers making sure that's going nowhere. Ball up at the top of the square.
And one of those getting to his feet is Dale Thomas, playing in this Northern Blues side. Back from Carlton. And it should be the Blues to clear. They do. Outside defensive 50 into a lot of open space. There's no one out there, but it's going to be kept in. Maybe a push in the back on Carigliano. Nothing doing, says the umpire, as through sets of hands, Lawler gets the handball across. Now the kick going deep inside the 50. No one can take the mark. Bounces to his feet is Curtis. He sets his teammate running. Mullane runs in and kicks the opening goal for the Lions. 1 straight 6. Plays no score. We've gone about 50 seconds in the opening quarter. We're going to have to be the scoreboard for everyone, because the scoreboard over the far side isn't actually working so far, but there are people looking at it now.
One of the ex-Frankston boys in his side. 3rd goal for the year for Blake Mullane.
We talk about the talent that's in this Lions side. Many of these players coming from the Northern Blues. Hisham Kabadia.
Yep.
Keenan Poser played at the Northern Blues along the way. I'll name a couple.
It's fast becoming a footy factory as well. They've been able to produce quite a few draftees in recent years, the Lions, and they get the clearance again. Mellington goes back inside 50, bouncing ball, missed Curtis that time. The Blues have numbers out the back, but there's no room to work with. A good handball out, and then Jones sent it over the top for Cunningham. He had it and lost it. Now picking up the ball, Bocourse, but plenty of lines around this one. Goodwin ended up with the ball, threw it onto the left, back inside 50. Ball clean bowled a couple, including Burgess. Out the back, Mullane almost had the ball, just overran it. Then the tackle came from Keppel. Ball up right forward pocket for Coburg.
23rd players for both teams. For the Northern Blues, Kane Keppel and Hayden Blythe, number 42 for the Lions.
Ball thrown up. Phillips got first hands on the ball for the Blues. It's locked up again though.
Hilly, down to you. Just what's the breeze doing at the moment? It seems to be quite light.
Pete, it looks like the advantage will be 1 goal just to the Coburg end.
Which is the exact margin. In fact, make that 7 as the ball goes into the post. And the kick in needs to be taken again. 1-1-7 Coburg. Nothing yet for the Northern Blues. They haven't even gone forward of centre. So
Stavrou going with the short pass to Kerridge. He goes even shorter and didn't find Dylan Buckley. Would have been dubious to be 15. It's over the line anyway. Good attacking play, and the scoreboard is up and running. Great to see. Well done. The tradies over there did a great job. Ball to be thrown in. 15 around from the Coburg goal. Trying to get front position there was Phillips. Couldn't do so. Still got the numbers here. Jones helping out in this chain as the kick going across the ground. Will it stay in? It does. Working hard there was Keppel. Got some teammates running alongside. Stavrou brought down in the tackle. And the umpire says, give it to me. Good tackling pressure. This is good from the Lions. Early stages. 4 minutes gone.
Blues looking very defensive at the moment. Got defensive structures set up all over the ground.
There's Goodwin getting the tap down. It's going to the line again. The umpire says we'll toss it in. Right in front of our commentary position. Crowd building up nicely. Free entry today here at the Coburg City Oval, Piranha Park. And fans are certainly taking advantage of that. As the ball back into play. We can get clear from the contest. Here's Wilson, the skipper for the Blues. Just throwing it on the boot. Ball heading up towards centre wing. Just trying to paddle it in front was Mackay. Can't keep it in. And the umpire says throw it in. We're on centre wing. 1-1-7 Coburg. Northern Blues yet to score. Peter Jackson VFL Live. Audio and video streaming today. 5 gone in the opening term.
This has been as far forward as the Blues have been so far today. They're down by 7 early. As Goodwin gets in front of Phillips that time, actually did win it down to advantage Mellington, but he got held up eventually. Some good tackling from Dale Thomas. Big day for Daisy today, ball up. So a couple of early touches. He'll give it back to the umpire here, Dale Thomas.
2 behinds plays no score. Opening quarter action at Williamstown.
He was rested last week. Didn't get back into the AFL side. Daisy is Coburg get a little quick kick forward once more. Bouncing ball held up for a while. Then DeClace picked it up. Hand pass went back to Keppel. He went further back to Kerridge. He goes all the way back to the goal square and it could come unstuck as Buckley's under a fair bit of pressure. Had to get the handball out. Got the 1-2. Dylan Buckley did well. Kick out toward the wing. This is Reece Palmer. Can he keep it in? He can. Support option was available. Got the hand pass over the top. And the Blues have done well so far. Now they go backwards. Wilson to DeClace, now Buckley. And they settle things down across half-back as Buckley goes the switch. That's okay. Good build-up. Kerridge down the line. Next man in the chain is Dennis Armfield on the bounce. He'll pick it up now, Armfield. Has to work his man over. Does get the handball back to O'Shea. Then in board it went. Good pressure, Coburg, to just hold things up. Armfield once more. He got pushed off it. Little kick didn't go far. Was picked up by Cunningham. Hand pass out wide and the Blues just being held up nicely by Coburg here, and it results in a turnover eventually. Lions get it back.
Yeah, Curtis, the player, working down back as this kick going up the line is good. Holdsworth, 60 from goal. His kick was smothered. They still get another opportunity though. There's a little ball over the top is okay. Mellington made to work for that mark by Stevens. And he's 55 from goal.
Think he'd carry the distance from there, Pete, if he wanted to have a fly.
Yeah, I think so. Tall Timber getting back in the goal square, but looks like he's just going to go back and have the shot. So Mellington. Goodwin down there on the mark. Phillips on the goal line. There's the kick going long. It's got the trip. It's hit the posts. 1-2-8 plays no score. 7.5 gone in the opening quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Blues want to move it quickly.
Strawn it goes short. And he found Reece Palmer. He goes wide. So the Blues happy to chip the ball around so far today inside defensive 50 and in their defensive half. Kick went down the line. That was a good mark. Out there by Harrison Mackay. He's kicked a few goals so far this year. He's kicked 4. His kick not great down the line. Hunt for Coburg. Little hand pass out. Then they go underground. Mellington has had a fair bit of it early. Has to get around one tackle, then two. Needed to handball it off and he did. Now they go corridor, but in the hole was Jones and he takes it for the Northern Blues. They have a number out wide. So far, so good. As we go towards half forward now. And that's a good mark as well, Phillips. Taken out there by Phillips, just beyond 50. In front of Goodwin. So here's their first real entry for today, and he goes short. That's okay. Reece Palmer, who's had a fair bit of it early on a 45-degree angle, will kick from just inside 50.
First genuine opportunity at goal. I haven't seen a lot of it up forward, the Blues, so far.
We've got the scoreboard working, Pete, but I think the score might be incorrect at the moment on the scoreboard.
1-2-8, I would have it as.
I have it
Should
the
be
same.
correct. Quick handball off here and a right foot shot on goal will just sneak in. They get on the board. The goal kicker, Patrick Kerr. 1 straight 6 to 1-2-8 Coburg's way. We've played 9 minutes opening term. Battle of Bell Street, round 3 action on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Around the grounds, Essendon by 1. 3-7-25 playing 3-6-24. 24 minutes into the second quarter. And Box Hill 1 straight 6. Williamstown 2 behinds. Early stages opening quarter over at Burbank Oval today. The other game of Peter Jackson VFL being played.
I think we just had a goal kick for Essendon actually. 7-point lead for the Bombers.
Just coming through. Ball back in the middle. Like it's going to be Curtis doing the ruck work. All over him there was Jones, but they still managed to get the clearance here. The Lions coming out in front, taking the mark. Holdsworth, Jesus, strong mark. Got the little handball off and behind. Here's the results. Nick Dodge. I wanted to move it quickly. Just off target. So another behind added to the score. 1-3-9. Plays 1 straight 6 as I have it, as Buckley takes the mark from the kick out. To close again. As the kick going across the ground. Stavrou. Right outside defensive 50. They can almost run it out here. Bokurst going across to Palmer. In close quarters. Working there. Pickett. Play it down behind play. Adam, keep an eye on that. Just in front of us. As this ball's going to be turned over. It's Blythe running onto it. They want to work it into the middle of the ground. They've turned it over again. Jones coming out to meet the foot. He's been dispossessed. Handball over the top there from Paulson. Still in a dangerous position here for the Blues. Wilson has to lay the tackle now, and they should come away with it. Liam Hunt working well for the Lions. Little chipping ball has been cut off by Reece Palmer right in the middle of the ground for the Blues. As he goes across the ground to Thomas. Just backward of centre. DeClass. Kicks up the line. Finds Kerridge. Kerridge wants to go back into the middle of the ground, and that's okay too. To Stavrou, and 50 metres. Wasn't called to play on, and it was Dodge on the mark.
That player that went down earlier, Pete, was Blaine Bokurst. He seems to be okay. It looked like more of a knock to the lower midriff area.
Okay, thank you, Hilly. As Marcus Stavrou, well within range now. Directly in front, 30 out. Chance at the second for the Northern Blues. Almost 12 minutes into the opening quarter. On the right, and it just fades. One behind. The first behind for the Blues, 1-1-7. Trailing Coburg 1-3-9. 12 minutes gone in the opening quarter here on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Left of screen, the Bell Street end of the ground, notoriously difficult for goal kicking. Typically Harding Street, the scoring ends here at Coburg City Oval, is with 2 kicks, the Lions get it to centre wing. That's where it comes unstuck. Blues mark and they go inboard. It's going to be Russell that takes the mark. Interesting handball to Buckley. He ran into some trouble pretty quickly. Russell has some space. Buckley, a good handball to get it out in space and allow some space for Russell to get it back. Plenty of space there in that passage. Now Kerridge takes the mark, goes wide by hand. It's O'Shea for the Blues. Goes inside 50. That's not a good kick. It got cut off, and off the last line of defence, the Lions will go again. It's in the hands of Gregory. Down the line he goes. Now Jones going to hit the contest hard here. Didn't take the mark in the end. Ground level, O'Shea back inside 50. We're back where we started.
Yeah, we're going around and around in circles at the moment.
That was an interesting passage all round, and Coburg have it again in front of the scoreboard here. They're up by 2 points. 13 minutes in. The kick
Another
down
Blues
the line to
player
the
down.
wing. We'll keep an eye on that one. Hilly's on ground level. He's keeping an eye on Bokurst as well at the moment. Russell got it back for the Blues. Went down the line. No mark taken. O'Shea. Another touch for him. Inside 50. That's a much better kick. And Patrick Kerr already has 1 goal. He's going to give this one off to Thomas. And Daisy can have his first shot for the day.
Real confidence booster if he can put this one through. I think it might be Liam Jones who's going to run towards you. Hilly.
Yeah, it was Liam Jones. He just injured himself just on the landing in that marking contest, so it's a bit hard to tell what his issue is at the moment.
Well, loose checking again. The Blues are taking a mark in the forward pocket at him.
Yeah, so Thomas decided to go with the pass. It doesn't improve the angle, it only improves distance. And as I mentioned, this can be a hard spot to kick goals from at Piranha Park. The banana is a goal. So the Blues do get their second in the end, and they are in front as a result. 2-1-13 to 1-3-9 halfway into the opening term.
Well, they just got that movement. Another flurry of activity from Coburg. It's all coming undone. Paddy Kerr with his second.
It was almost as if the Blues were instructed to just soak up that pressure in that first 5 minutes or so, and they're playing very defensive football and trying to maintain the football in that first 5 minutes. But since then, they've really freed their game up and getting on top here.
Goodwin had to chase that. He was first on the scene there for the Lions, working their lane. Little handball out is okay. Trying to find Carigliano. Carigliano putting it into the path here of Allen. Allen tracking it to the line. Was one of the better players for Coburg last week in their loss. It's been coughed up. Boakhurst just pushing it up the line. It's near the boundary. We'll have it thrown in. Bit of push and shove going on. Nathan Blair wanting to make a nuisance of himself for the Lions. He's going to work there on Kerr as the ball's going to be thrown in. 13 plays 9. Midway through the opening quarter, here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Goodwin just pushing out their little armbar on Phillips. And it'll be the Northern Blues ruckman to take the free kick. As he wants to go on with it. Got Boakhurst running alongside. And good overlap for Buckley, who from 48 metres out has a shot. Oh, that's pretty good. He's kicked the goal. Dylan Buckley on the run. Nicely done. And they got their third on the board. They are 3-1-19. The Northern Blues and Coburg, after that early flurry, still sitting at 1-3-9. 16 minutes gone in the opening quarter.
Great reward there for Dylan Buckley. He's certainly one of the players that stopped the momentum of Coburg in the first 5 or 6 minutes. And for him to sneak forward there and grab a crucial goal, putting the Northern Blues a couple of goals ahead.
Around the grounds, Williamstown 2-2-14, Box Hill 1-1-7 at Burbank Oval. That's the other game taking place around the Peter Jackson VFL today. Ground level ball here, doesn't seem to be coming out. Wellington wrapped up, it'll be a ball up just beside the centre circle. 10-point lead now for the Blues after conceding the first goal of the game. That went Blake Mullane's way. Goodwin. We'll give that one to him because it was Mellington that got the clearance up towards half forward. Overrunning the ball that time was Russell, clearing ball from Stavrou, and it works out for the Blues. They've had a good little passage here. Wilson takes the mark and he's got a loose man inside 50, and it's Dale Thomas. Unmanned, 45-degree angle. Had a shot a couple of minutes ago and decided not to take it. He decided to pass it off, and he does so again. So that's interesting. 2 chances for Dale Thomas to have a shot, and he decides to pass it off instead. Now it's Harrison Mackay that has it for the Blues.
You think from that distance, though, Hilly, you'd think that Daisy would be able to get the trip. Maybe just to build his confidence a little bit, but we've seen a little bit earlier he gave the ball off too.
He's actually just come straight off, boys, after passing that one off to Harry Mackay.
That's a good left foot ball. They have gone bang, 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 bang. 4 goals for the Northern Blues. 4-1-25 to 1-3-9. Still not into time on opening term. It's been a good start.
I wonder whether he might have copped a knock away from the ball there and then just drifted forward, because he's come straight off the ground and just was a little hunched over before taking his seat on the bench there. And I'd say the doctor's going to look him over. Yeah,
we'll just keep an eye on that, because that'll be important for all Blues fans to see what comes of that. But as you say, went straight down and sat on the bench. So,
as I say that, the doctor just walking past me now, heading over to the bench.
So, ball back in the middle. When flurry of activity now for the Northern Blues, and Kerridge at the bottom of this pack, not going anywhere. Good tackling pressure from the Lions. Umpire's holding for a very long time. And he says, give it to me. And we'll throw the ball up. As Burgess gets to his feet for the Lions. Again, the Rucks go at it. Again, it's Phillips getting the tap down. They're going to have to retreat ground here. Kerridge working back to Barkley. Brought down in the tackle. And he's pinned for holding the footy. There were 2 umpires right next to one another. One said play on. The other said that's a free kick.
I think he was a little stiff there too, Pete. He certainly was tackled immediately upon receiving the handball. And
well, Keenan Posar's the player who has the shot at goal, and he'll be kicking from 35 out. Formerly of the Northern Blues, Keenan Posar's been Around Bell Street for quite some time. Stuttering run up, and the kick is a goal. Good support for the Lions here today. 2-3-15 plays 4-1-25. Blues leading almost into time on in this opening quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Another update on Dale Thomas. He looks to be okay.
He does seem to be okay. I think he might be preparing to come back onto the ground, but we'll just keep an eye on him because he certainly looked a little proppy or a little sore as he came off on the last occasion.
Granite Grounds, Williamstown by 7. Essendon in the AFL by 2 against the Demons.
32 plays 30. Essendon leading at half-time.
Got a good game here. 6 goals kicked before we enter time on, and it's going to be the Blues with this clearance out of the middle and kicking it forward. He's playing Bocourse, but this time he hits up an opposition player, so that gets picked off, and Coburg start again off half-back as we go towards the wing. Jones! Good fly by Liam Jones. The ex-Bulldog takes the mark. Very good VFL player, Liam Jones. He was a premiership player for the Dogs 2 years ago as he goes down the line, off hands of Kane. Little kick from Armfield, didn't go far. It ricochets back out, and the Blues have it. Across half forward, Kerridge under pressure, had to get the handball back and did. So they work it out nicely. It was Kerr getting it to half forward and unfortunately cannot hit a target. So
Darian White out there, the former Collingwood player. Spent a lot of time playing VFL for the Pies.
Ex-basketballer.
Yep, from the US.
Down the line we go for Coburg, but Blues got it back. Little handballing board from Bokhurst was okay. And now trying to escape is Gallucci. High one goes inside 50. Again, Coburg in the right spot here. No mark was taken though. Ground level chance for the Blues. Tackle was laid. Handball came out the back and desperately defending this one, the Lions. It goes close to the line. It did stay in the end, so Blair couldn't get around the tackler. Eventually it goes out. Boundary throw in right forward pocket.
Had to be inventive there. Nathan Blair was right near the line. Knew he was going to be in all sorts of trouble. So the ball thrown in. Goodwin, Phillips. Phillips getting the tap down again. No one can break clear. Good tackling pressure again from the Lions. Well, they're just hanging on down there, you would think. Stacks on. Umpire will get involved in that pretty quickly. 25 plays 15, 21 and a half gone in the opening quarter. Northern Blues leading. As the ball tossed back up. Goodwin had it all to himself in the end. Here is Blythe, the 23rd player, coming out to try and meet it. There's handball over the top. Again, the Blues, just that little handball, getting him into trouble. And Cam Paulson was the one who was dealt with. He picks himself up, and we'll have it thrown in again. So 22 gone. Another magnificent scoreboard. Remember the old scoreboard here at Coburg, the manual sort of stuff. Now this looks fantastic. It's Cunningham just getting the handball out dangerously. Buckley trying to go backwards. Option is okay as that little kick goes over the top, and the mark has been taken by Bokhurst, who's been in everything. His kick right inside the 50 for the Blues. It's off hands. Mullane, who just holds his kick. Oh, dangerously. Buckley flew way too early. He was sunrise and he needed to be the 6 o'clock news. And it's Hisham Kabadiat who has the free kick. Kicks to Mellington at halfback for the Lions. He's kicked into the path here of Cleary. Spoil there from Strawn. And they've got it right along the interchange benches. Strawn, that's an excellent kick. Gee, that was a smart kick. Trying to find a teammate in space right near the line. It had to be pinpoint. It was pinpoint for Jax. And Jack's kick has been marked by Dennis Armfield inside 50. Just excellent transfer of the ball. Strawn initially, and then Jax into Dennis Armfield. And they just sliced them open there, the Blues. And so for Dennis, 40 out. You shouldn't have too many problems with this. Although, as Adam said, it's the trickier out of the two ends here at Coburg. So when he comes, Dennis Armfield going with the right boot. Looking pretty good, drifting late. It's got it though. It got in. And Dennis Armfield has his first goal for the afternoon. And they're kicking clear, heading down towards quarter time here, the Northern Blues. It was all the Coburg Lions in the first 10 or so minutes. But then from there, it's been all the Northern Blues. 5-1-31 plays, 2-3-15, 24 gone opening quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Great judgment there from Armfield, showing all his experience, edging that ball just out to the left and letting the wind do the rest.
Dale Thomas back out on the ground. He'll start on the broadcast wing. Liam Jones in the ruck for the Blues, but Goodwin just grabbed it and then he kicked it straight into Jones. So now he's doing the hard work in that muddy middle. And eventually the umpire should call for something here. If not holding the ball, then a ball up. It'll be the ladder. It's been all Northern Blues. Coburg do have 2 goals of their own, but the Blues have been good so far today, and they are kicking into a slight breeze, but I do say slight, as Pickett goes for a dash on the outer wing. Pickett can run it all the way to 50, then go towards the square. It might go all the way. I think it was touched. It was touched, saving the day.
It was Nathan Blair who was saving the day, but gee, Cam Paulson just edged him under the footy. It was quite dangerous, actually. You can understand why he's taking a while to get up there, Adam, as the kick out here for the Lions. Goodwin in the middle of that pack, falling to the back. Cunningham picking it up for the Blues. They're going to work it around Stavrou. In amongst the chain to O'Shea. His little ball over the top is okay. And the mark's been taken by Pickett. Pickett just wants to get the ball on, twisting, turning the kick up to the goal square. Almost the mark to Thomas. He should have a go this time, Daisy, and he shouldn't miss. He doesn't. Well, Dale Thomas has given a couple of shots at goal away to his teammates. Unselfish play. This time it took himself. And the sign's looking promising for Daisy. Sign's looking good for the Northern Blues as well as we tick down towards quarter time. It's 6-2-38 playing 2-3-15, 26 gone in the opening quarter.
There's been some real loose checking on Daisy Thomas. He's been open quite a few times in this first quarter. I'm sure Peter German will address that at quarter time.
I think that a player of his stature might even have 2 or 3 players on him. Not the case.
I think you'll find Peter German definitely will address that at quarter time. The bounce was wayward.
I think on that basis we'll be able to hear Peter German without the microphone from where we are, high up in the grandstand.
Of course, we saw what the former Coburg coach did without the microphone at the start of the game, and that was magnificent. Grigliano takes a defensive mark here for Coburg, and they work it off half-back. Little handball out wide, dodge. Left it for a teammate. Left foot goes inside 50. Kabadi is working against Buckley, and Buckley gets the fist over the line. Boundary throw in. Left forward pocket, Harding Street end.
It's been the general so far, Dylan Buckley. It's been a great first quarter from him.
Both into the ground.
He's had a fair bit of the ball. Boundary throw in here. Jones still in the ruck, and he's going up against McAvoy. The ex-Box Hill Hawk. It's O'Shea that clears it out. Pickett off the chest, gets it back to Armfield. He's under pressure, gets the kick out toward the wing. That's actually a good mark in front by the skipper of Coburg, Goodwin. Gets onto the right foot, sends it long and deep, and McAvoy's in front. Ball goes out the back. We've got the foot race on for it. Stays in play. Keeping it in nicely there was Lawler, another former Box Hill Hawk. No mark for Jones here. Touched off the boot, had to get it off. O'Shea was in the right spot. His kick partially smothered. That won't be a mark either, but the quick snap's good for Liam Hunt. And Coburg get one back. 3-3-21 to 6-2-38. 28 gone opening term.
Well, that was a pretty clear call. You're right in front of that, Hilly, where you're standing. That play-on call was very clear. We could hear it from here.
Very clear. I could see the touch as well off the boot. And, Liam Jones just was slow to react. Could not hear the umpire, and the umpire could have only been about 7 or 8 metres from him.
Round the grounds, 3-1-19 playing 2-3-15. Box Hill leading Williamstown as they head towards quarter time there. And half time at Etihad Stadium, 4-8-32 playing 4-6-30. The Bombers leading the D's. The other game we'll be keeping an eye on is Geelong and Collingwood at the MCG. But back in the middle here as we approach quarter time. But an entertaining contest. Goodwin grabbed it out of the ruck and just hacking it forward. Coming out to meet it there was McAvoy. Oh, they've got some good running here as well. This should be another goal. No, off target. disappointingly so. Pozo, who's running towards the contest, dodged there as well. A couple of options further in, but the Blues looking to get out here. Wilson finds Kerr. Or has he? No. It's out of bounds on the full, so they'll get another opportunity here, the Lions. Mellington going long and high. Kabadia flew high, but Thomas at the back did really well. Gee, Kabadia flew. You thought maybe he might have got a touch on it. It went over the top of him, and Thomas had the presence of mind to just take the mark. Did a great job. It was impressive stuff. As Kerr has it at half back. He kicks up the line. Goodwin and Phillips. The third man up there was Gregory, and we'll have it thrown in true centre wing position. 6-2-38 the Blues, 3-4-22 the Lions. Almost 30 minutes gone in this opening quarter. Peter Jackson, VFL Live, audio and video streaming today. And Vicky Cleary tribute days. The ball's tossed back in. Goodwin just trying to get into a good position. Coming through there, Allen. Cross to Mellington as the kick going up the line. Cleary didn't really have a good run at it. Plenty of Blues at the fall of this ball. O'Shea just hurling it onto the boot, and he's turned it over. Mellington's taken the mark. Too far out to score. Probably want to get things moving quickly. Mullane with his hands in the air. He's been free for a while, as is Kabadia. Instead, the ball going long and high. This might drop short. Hands went up there from Holdsworth. Couldn't quite clunk it. They've still got a chance here, the Lions. Oh, but well
throw right on the siren. Throw.
It is a throw. Oh, good call, Hilly. It's a free kick going the way of Coburg. On the siren.
Happened probably 0.5 of a second before the siren went.
And Blake Mullane to take it, and he'll be directly in front and 25 metres out. This is a big kick.
It's been a good fight back from Coburg in the last 5 minutes, so this is huge.
Margin 16 points before this kick. And so Mullane taking plenty of time. Kicked the first goal of the game. Looking to add to the tally now as he steps in. Kick on the way is good. Oh, they all get to him too, the Lions. Right on the stroke of quarter time, Blake Mullane kicks his second goal. And the margin here at Piranha Park is only 10 points. It's been an entertaining quarter of footy. It's 6-2-38 the Northern Blues. Playing 4-4-28 the Lions. The goal kickers to quarter time. 2 goals to Patrick Kerr.
At Piranha Park.
Yep, I think there's an echo in the room, Adam. And singles to Buckley, Mackay, Thomas and Armfield. And 2 to Mullane, as I mentioned, and singles to Poser and Liam Hunt. We need to take a break. On the other side of the break, Hilly will be in the huddles telling us what the coaches had to say, and we'll get stuck into a big second quarter. Stick around, plenty to come here on Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
Radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations, plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Last year, Vision Australia helped more than 33,000 people who are blind or have low vision. So if you find that glasses are no longer helping and you're struggling to complete daily tasks, why not give us a call? Our free services, provided by specialist staff, can help increase your independence. We also offer advice on equipment and provide training in how to travel around safely with limited vision. Vision Australia can help you make a real difference. Call us now, 1300 847466.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
1-2, Jamie Wick up first. Craig Lowndes
And
second.
you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM Media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
Next week, Peter Jackson VFL Live is at Burbank Oval for the round 4 clash between Williamstown and Coburg. That's next Sunday from 1:45, live on the Red Time Sport iPhone app and audio and video stream through vfl.com.au.
On Aussie Digital, streaming live through vfl.com.au and on the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Where it is quarter time here at the Coburg City Oval, and it is the Northern Blues 6 goals to 38. Leading Coburg 4-4-28, a 10-point ball game here at Piranha Park. Let's go around the grounds because the other game of Peter Jackson VFL would have reached quarter time, I would say.
The current score showing Peter Mercado is Williamstown 2-3-15, trailing the Box Hill Hawks 3-1-19. Tyrone Vickery has 2 goals for the Hawks. Cade Stewart has the other one, and for Williamstown, Ben Cavara and Lee Masters, two of the better players in the VFL, on the board for the Seagulls. So some Hawks fans will be interested to see that Tyrone Vickery already has 2 to his name today.
The other game going on is at Etihad Stadium. What's happening there? They're into the third quarter.
It is still yet. Third quarter has just started. 4-8-32 Essendon leading Melbourne 4-6-30. So a bit of a low-scoring affair, that one. I'm assuming it is under the lid at Etihad Stadium today. So that's what's happening around the ground so far.
The other game we'll keep you up to date with is Geelong and Collingwood starting at 3:20 this afternoon. So about an hour away from that one starting. But meanwhile, back here, we had the jump was good from Coburg. They've scored a couple of goals in the first quarter, the first time this season. They got 4 on the board, and that's what Peter German would have wanted. But it was just that mid part of the quarter, from around the 10-minute mark to around the 22-minute mark, that the Blues were able to put the foot down, and they started leaking goals, the Lions.
Yeah, the kicking hasn't been great, really, from either side, and a lot of the games being played sort of between the arcs. At the moment, early on, Hilly did point out that sort of the Northern Blues perhaps were taking a bit of time just to establish themselves in the contest and were playing a fair bit of defensive footy. But then they started winning it around the stoppages. I think Phillips had a good term in the ruck, and slowly the Northern Blues were able to just really get some good, efficient ball inside 50. And the marking by Coburg and their back six has not been great for that opening term. Too many easy marks were taken inside defensive at 50, and the Northern Blues were able to capitalise on that. So interesting opening term. Good to see that they kicked 6-2 as well into what is a bit of a breeze that Hilly did tell us about.
Talk to us, Hilly. I think you've got Josh Fraser there.
Yes, boys, joined by Josh Fraser. It was a very productive start, mate.
Not overly happy, to be honest. I thought we had some good patches, but we really got the foot off the pedal a couple of times and conceded some easy goals, so we've got a little bit of work to do.
Just in terms of the first 5 minutes, you're aware, obviously, Coburg were going to throw quite a bit at you, and it seemed like there was a lot of controlled play, and then you were able to open up your offensive game after that.
Yeah, we'd spoken about the way they were going to start, so we weren't surprised. And I thought we stood up okay, but just towards the end of the quarter, we probably got away from what was working for us, so we'll reset now and go again.
Is it more just get to the outside now?
Win the ball on the inside and be able to use some of our run on the outside, but they're a dangerous young team, so we've got to make sure we're switched on for 4 quarters.
No worries. Thanks for your time, Josh.
Beautifully done. Glenn Hill down there with Josh Fraser, and as per usual, Coburg still in their huddle. Peter German keeps them for a long time. That hasn't changed. When he was Williamstown coach, now here at Coburg, he hangs on to them to the very last second. The Blues players are already back in position, and now they've got to wait for all the supporters to make their way off the ground and all the support staff. And now they'll get into position too. Some last-minute instructions going Tom Goodwin's way as he makes his way to the ruck for this opening bounce of the second quarter. 6-2-38, the Blues. Coburg 4-4-28.
Just out of the Coburg huddle as well, boys, the real focus was on their intensity and the pressure. And they're fully aware that the first 5 to 10 minutes of that game, they brought that pressure, they brought that intensity, and that certainly got them off to a good start. They didn't capitalise, they did late, so look for that intensity to ramp up again in the second quarter.
All right, beautifully done, Hilly, down there on the boundary in front of what is a big crowd here at Coburg today. One of the larger ones that we've seen here for the Vicky Cleary Day. And when you've got the traditional rivals playing off against one another, you do tend to get a large crowd. Obviously with Carlton playing yesterday, I mean, some of the Carlton fans could come down. Well, let's get ready now for the second quarter. A 10-point ball game, Northern Blues leading.
Phillips and Goodwin, that's a really good high bounce. This umpire is bouncing really well today. First clearance of the quarter goes the Blues' way. O'Shea goes inside 50, well trapped off the bounce by Arfield. He got the handball out, and there could be an early one for the Northern Blues. The right foot snap is good. How's that for a start? And Boakhorst gets his name in the book.
Josh Fraser just mentioned about winning that inside ball and getting it to the outside, and that was a perfect example, boys. They've certainly followed through on instructions.
Coming off a 25 disposal, 8 tackle game last week, so some early form for Blaine Boakhorst, and that's a good goal.
30 seconds in. 30 seconds in. All that messaging that would have come from Peter German 3 minutes ago.
We're looking toward that new electronic scoreboard. I was looking for the time clock. It hadn't even started yet.
So back in the middle. Early goal for the Northern Blues as this drifts out of the circles. No, just being kept in. So Phillips had 2 goes at it. Going past it there was Wilson. Working there was Blair for Coburg. High kick heading up towards half forward for the Lions. But there to mop up Stavrou. Goes across the ground for the Blues. Working there to Cunningham. He's got some outliers. Wilson's one of those. Gets the handball received. Boakhurst again made some good space. He's carving them up at the moment. Ball across is short and good. And Stavrou again. There's this kick heading towards the pocket. And Carigliano takes the mark. A relieving mark for the Lions. Still deep inside 50. On the boundary line. Kicks outside 50 now. Needs a flyer. Almost got one there with Cleary as the ball near the line. Won't be kept in. Stavrou trying to do his best, maybe to try and keep that in. And De Klaas is also there as we wait for the ball to be thrown in. As I mentioned, a good crowd here at Piranha Park today. As the ball's tossed back in. Goodwin, Phillips doing some body work. Hunt's just throwing it onto the boot, and Jones taking the relieving mark on centre wing for the Blues.
Goes backwards, and it's okay. De Klaas takes the mark inside defensive 50, and the full switch is on now. O'Shea's had a fair bit of it so far today for the Blues. Might not even get this ball in the end. He was under some good pressure. It went out of bounds eventually. I think he was happy to see the boundary line as a result, because down his throat was Nick Dodge, and it's a boundary throw-in. Forward of the gates here for Coburg, who find themselves down by 16 points. Good high-scoring game, this one already. 11 goals kicked. Goodwin front position, but Phillips got it for the Blues. Hand pass over the top, and they go by hand. Thomas, wrapped up by 2 Lions, I should say. Still it's a Blues ball, though. Kerridge got away from 1. Jacks, that's interesting. Tried to play a bit of soccer. That could be a mark.
Oh,
that is
incredible.
Christian Jacks with the over-the-shoulder soccer, and it was marked by Armfield. He goes inboard. Showtime early for the Northern Blues. O'Shea has it. Man on the mark is on 50.
Well, Jack's getting into position just in the forward pocket here too, Hilly. Well, let's see if we get some more of that.
He's going to put it to the top of the square here, O'Shea. There was a half lead from Palmer that he's ignored. Kerridge has some space in the pocket here, but Mellington getting back onto him now. So O'Shea's going to go for glory here all the way. Distance isn't there, and it's fisted through. It's a minor score in the end, and they're now 7-3, 45. Coburg 4-4-28, 4 gone second term.
Footy's going everywhere here, so Carigliano has to wait. The excess footies are gone. He kicks to himself.
Round of grounds, Demons out to a 15-point lead, Peter.
He gets the handball receive again. Handball over the top, just struggling to get the ball out of dangerous positions here. Gregory Handball over the top. Dangerous again here for the Lions. Gregory again. Carigliano where it started with. Oh, there's some danger here. There's a push out though. They'll get away with it, the Lions. They'll just get out of trouble just in the nick of time. But I reckon Josh Fraser, he'll be pretty happy with that defensive pressure from the forwards for the Blues.
Oh, he certainly would be, Pete, since the moment the whistle's blown for the second quarter, they have been on the Blues.
The ball's in the hands of Mark Orr, very experienced player for Coburg, and he's just going to Gregory. They're just chipping around in the pocket. Gregory wants to go on with it. Got around Kerridge and kicks outside the 50. That's a dangerous kick as Liam Jones gobbles it up. An uncontested mark. He kicks high, going to send him straight back in again, the Blues. Working here. Palmer was outnumbered. Boakhurst dropped it just at the right time. Allowed Allen to swoop onto it, though, for the Lions. He's got some runners. Dodge is one of those. He could take a bounce. Handball over the top is dangerous. Didn't quite hit its target, but it'll work out okay. There's Lawler kicking inside 50. They've done that well. In the end, they did it well. It took them forever to get out, and Curtis will have a shot at goal. And he will line up 30 metres out. A lot of goal face to look at. Very slight angle, but a chance here to bring the margin back to 10 points.
Costly turnover then by the Northern Blues on the half-forward flank there. Blaine Boakhurst outnumbered, wouldn't put it to boot, and it was a costly turnover.
He got rid of it legally, but just allowed Allen to swoop onto the footy. And that's what Adam Sarakoglu's been talking about today. It is the tricky end to kick from.
Wasn't a great kick, though.
True. I was trying to be nice. 7-3-45 the Blues to 4-5-29. 6 gone second quarter.
Wasn't very pretty at all as Buckley gets ready to bring this one in for the Northern Blues. They're up by 16 as he goes to himself and then broadcast side. Now Thomas is sitting himself up nicely here. Takes the mark. Hand pass off to Pickett. He goes down the line and Kerr stretches the mitts. Can't bring it down. All made sure of that. Boundary throwing.
He wanted the push in the back too after the contest there, and umpire not going to oblige.
Kicked 2 goals in the opening term, Patrick Kerr. Boundary throw in, centre wing in front of Glenn Hill today. His boundary side. His throw in's a bit short here, very vertical one from the umpire, so Phillips had to come a long way to claim it. That he did. Now Palmer, wrapped up by Mellington. Boundary throwing. It's been good today, Mellington, so far for Coburg.
It's probably been their best player so far, Adam.
Helps when you've got the blonde tips. I think they're tips. How would you describe that hairstyle, Glenn Hill?
I know how I describe it.
Sure
better than mine.
It's a Logie's haircut, that one.
You would know, Glenn Hill. Free kick. It's the Blues' way, and it's going to be taken by Phillips. Handball off to Reece Palmer. The 2008 rising star goes inside 50 and coughs it up. They'll start again. Coburg. Short pass finds Poser.
Yeah, Keenan Poser, where the boundary line of 50 intersects on the grandstand side here at Piranha Park. His kick is short up the line. That's okay. They're just going to take their time again, and that's fair enough. Liam Hunt goes in short. That's fine. Kabadia. Not sure which way to go. He's twisting and turning and then just wants to go big up the line. Needs a fly up. In fact, got the spoil in the end. And we will throw it in. Just went to the pack contest. That's just where it slightly becomes unravelled for the Lions. Curtis nominating himself for the ruck. There's a player who put the fist in. Oh, it's another shallow throw in from the boundary umpire. I think we might redo that one. And the boundary umpire should be able to step in a little bit here. Yeah, goes back to the line again. 2 ruckmen nominate again. As it's tossed back in, and that's a better one. Curtis getting the front position, just tapping the ball to ground. Mellington looking to lay the tackle. Oh, there's holding the footy. Holding the footy's the call. Free kick going the way of the Lions. It will go to Mellington, who receives the ball from Curtis. And again in 2 minds. Again having to go with the short option. They're just going to have to chip it. Although Lawler decides to go the other way, make a liar out of me. Well, that's the end result. Stavery takes the mark. And he kicks a ball there into the 23rd player, Blythe for the Lions. Ball in the middle of the ground. Palmer just overrunning it. Well done, Blythe again. Although he fumbled at the crucial moment and fumbled again, was 360 there by Buckley. And it's going to be a holding free kick, the umpire said. Well done, second, third efforts there from Blythe. Finds Curtis. Curtis kicks into the man in front of him. It was Armfield. And they could be out here, the Blues. They need to be careful. Plenty of Lions numbers, though, at the fall of this ball. Wyatt was dispossessed. Ball in dispute at half forward here for the Northern Blues. Cunningham. He's got some space now. Can steady from 48 metres out and kick the goal. First for today for Cunningham. And that's another bad turnover from the Lions. And results in a Northern Blues goal. Cunningham had all the time in the world there to steady. 8-3-51 plays 4-5-29. We're almost gone 10 minutes in the second quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Coburg just having a few problems defensively at the moment. Can't seem to get their matchups right. At one stage there, Darren Wyatt was picking up Dale Thomas, and Dale Thomas just knew where to run to get forward of the ball there, and Darren Wyatt had dropped right off, and he was a part of that progress going forward there. So they've got some structural issues at the moment, Coburg in the back line.
Runner grounds, Burbank Oval, 4 consecutive goals for the Williamstown Football Club, and they're now in front by 20 against the Box Hill Hawks at Etihad. It's Melbourne by 8, and we'll have the ball coming out here. It's stayed locked up for a while. Wilson at the bottom of it. The 23rd man for Coburg was the tackler, Hayden Blythe, local product out of Glenroy. Umpire throws it up. Plenty of local products in this side for Coburg. We'll get back-to-back stoppages.
Yeah, one more chance, Adam.
Still inside the centre square. 10 minutes in to this second term, and 8 goals for the Northern Blues, leading this one by 22 points. And looks like we will get a clearance now. Buckley will go short for Bokhorst. He takes the mark right half back. Blythe stands the mark in the long sleeves. Buckley accumulating today is Dylan Buckley. Goes over the top. This kick's okay as well. So the Blues get it all the way inside 50. Now Kerridge has it, but he's up against the boundary line, not thinking about 6, and then he coughs up the ball. A bad one, turnover, mark taken by Mullane, and he wants to go into the middle of Coburg City Oval. That's okay. Here they go. Orgler up towards half forward. Pumping those legs, trying to get to the ball and taking a nice mark. In the end was Dodge. Looking around. Nothing really presenting to him, so he goes inboard. That's a turnover, and Palmer, with some acrobatics, takes it in the corridor.
He did well. He gets an extra point for the Pike on the end of it as the kick going inside 50. Mackay coming out to meet. He's going to get a free kick. He was dealt with in that contest. And Harry is going to have a shot at goal.
Not sure that one was there, boys. The defender really didn't do anything wrong. Harry sort of threw himself to the ground, and the defender made very minimal contact.
Well, in the end it goes down as a free kick, so chance here to really extend the margin. A lot of breathing space now as the breathe picks up too. Here in our commentary positioning and here in the effects mics. Mackay comes in and he misses. So let off there for the Lions.
He started celebrating there. There was a bit of a fist pump. He thought that was 6.
Either that or he really likes kicking behinds. 52 plays 29. 12 and a half gone. Blues leading. Second quarter action here on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Orgler against his former club goes short. And, well, in tight quarters, trying to play on was Wyatt. He's going to have to come back over the mark here. Jax was the man he got around, and he's going to have to take his kick. Right back pocket. And he decides just to come off his line and kick a wobbler down the line here. Ground level ball. Bokhorst just leaves opponent get to that one in Burgess. Now it's Mellington. Bounced off the body of Jones nicely. A wobbler goes all the way to half forward, and O'Shea read it well in flight, took the mark. He's been very good today, Cam O'Shea. With the kick goes toward the wing. It's Paulson. Onto the right for Wilson. The Northern Blues skipper has it.
Oh, they got a free player inside 50.
65 out. That loose player begging
Gallucci.
for the ball is Gallucci. It won't end up there. Jones! Big mark! That's twice today that Liam Jones has gone up and pulled down a good one, and he can finish it off with a goal as well.
That was great to see Adam on that occasion, that he went the hands above the eyes rather than taking the chest mark too.
I think he had to there. It was the perfect mark by Liam Jones.
Cancel what I said about Gallucci being all on his own. Didn't need him in the end.
He is goalless today so far, Jones. This is for the 9th of the day for the Northern Blues. Halfway into the second term, and he likes it off the boot. All he had to do was finish it off. He does so, and Liam Jones gets his first. It's 9-4-58 to 4-5, 29, 14 and a half into the second term as the sun begins to shine over Coburg City Oval.
Well, certainly does for the Northern Blues around the grounds, Adam, while we've got the chance. Second quarter action at Williamstown.
6-6-42, the Seagulls, Box Hill 3-20, and it's the Demons leading the Bombers at Etihad Stadium in the AFL by 7 points.
This is when we like to be at this ground, when it's bright and sunny. Stand by, we've got a few more later on in the season. It may not be the case. Ball back in the middle, Blythe just overrunning the footy there. Going there, Boakhurst off the ground for the Blues. Just trying to put it into a little bit of space. Pickett just weaving around. Did a really good job in the end. His kick into the pocket. Looking for Armfield. It's out of bounds on the full. Too much on the kick. Oldschler to take the free kick, back pocket. As he just tries to get outside the 50. Needs some flyers. 3 Lions players went up in the contest. One of them was Goodwin. Ended up with Mellington, though, for the Lions. A little underground handball, not really all that effective. On the ground, Stavrou. They got 3 Lions players on top of him. They eventually extracted Mellington, almost in the back. No, holding the footy, went the other way. Jack's the tackler. So the kick going inside 50 again is a dangerous one. Working his way around Mackay. Handball over the top is going to be turned over. Wyatt in trouble. Managed to get the handball away in the nick of time. And they should get out of trouble here. Mellington near the boundary line will be his friend. He continues just to trail along and kicks up the line. Mark not taken there by McAvoy. And again the Blues with an opportunity. Buckley finds Wilson, who kicks high ball inside the 50. They fly from all directions. The fist coming outside the 50. It might work. Went through the hands there of Mullane. He couldn't get a handle on it. Ball still in dispute in the middle of the ground. They just need to get it forward here, the Lions, and they will. Mullane, handball over the top. Blythe might have some space. No, he couldn't get on the end of it. Stavrou did well. Threw the handball out. Working there is Strawn. He's tackled, dispossessed. Blythe there again. His kick carries the pack, and it hits the post. At the base of the post. 4-6-30, Coburg, Northern Blues, 9-4-58, 16 and a half gone in the second quarter.
It's in the hands of Buckley as White comes off in front of Glenn Hill. We'll find out what's wrong with the ex-Magpie, ex-basketballer in a moment. Jacks takes the good mark in front of Mellington. And Hill goes short. Got to play on for some reason. Maybe he came off his line. His short pass is okay for Kerr. So the Blues go from full back to the forward pocket. And Thomas takes it uncontested. For some reason plays on. Needs to finish. Handball to Jones. Unconventional, but it gets the job done. Dale Thomas to Jones, who's got his second. Blues have their 10th. 10-4-64 plays 4-6-30. A game high, 34-point lead.
Darren White just copped a knock high. That was his reason for coming off at the moment. It's just club doctor's just looking him over.
He wants to go the unselfish sort of stuff there, Daisy. We had no choice in that instance. Let's go back and have the set shot.
But what he's done, he's again refused to have a set shot.
Yeah.
That's now 3 times he's refused to have a set shot today. That's interesting.
When he was not too far out, he would have been kicking from 20 metres.
And all this happened in front of you, Healy, at the moment. You're inside that forward pocket as we speak. Any reason why you think Dale Thomas played on there?
I think he thought that there was no one behind him, actually. And I think that's why he took that first step. And then once he'd taken the step, realised it was play on. So he had to. He had no other choice.
Ball outside the circles. We'll do it again.
Just seems to be playing on with quite a bit of freedom and instinct, and although he's being tightly manned just at the moment, he is really dominated forward of the ball today.
Margin 34 points as the throw up. Goodwin with his second bite of the cherry. Down to Mellington, who just hurls it on the boot deep inside the 50. They come out to meet it. Curtis did well. Got a little handball out. Working there was Dodge. A bit of a dodgy kick too. He might end up with it again. Handball over the top. Lawler did well into the pocket. Hunt just dribbling it on the boot. Clash of bodies inside the defensive goal square, but Buckley's there. One of a number of players. Boakhurst, another one. Across to Kerridge, and they should clear here, the Blues. They do. Might be temporarily. Working there, Thomas did well to affect the spoil, but they've still got the numbers here, the Lions. Goodwin, though. Oh, he coughed it up. It could be dangerous. Armfield gets on his bike in the middle of the Coburg City Oval. The kick, well, was almost well weighted for Pickett, but coming in to take the defensive intercept mark was Exxon. He kicks across the ground to Blythe. Blythe going out to McAvoy, who's coming up the ground to pick up his kicks on centre wing, being corralled by Wilson, gets around him, and now McAvoy, a little floating ball, no good, and it's been turned over again. And they're just lining up across half back here, the Blues players.
Almost time on in the second term. Kerridge. Now Thomas on the lead here. He's come from the forward pocket to the back pocket. And he takes some mark uncontested here in front of Allen. It's been good today, Dale Thomas, so far. Presented well.
He's probably had 4 or 5 opponents, I would say, in the first half.
His short pass for Bokhorst, who goes with the switch. So they're happy to stay inside defensive 50 for the time being. The Northern Blues. Buckley's going to be next in the chain. They're now beyond defensive 50. Handball off, and we're at half forward. Foot race is on for the ball. It's Strawn up against Blythe. Blythe actually did well, held back. Strawn overran it. Now to tackle from Strawn. The help came eventually. It's on ground level. Umpire's going to say holding the ball and a free kick.
Had to be. Every day of the week he had 3 chances.
Northern Blues way.
3 chances to get that ball clear.
Strawn just beyond 50 with the pass in for Kerr. It's a good hit. And Kerr on a tight angle can kick it from 40.
The bigs are really worrying Coburg at the moment. Kerr's had plenty of it. Jones has probably been one of the best players on the ground, and Harry McKay as well. So it's the bigger players are really worrying Coburg at the moment. They're looking a bit small in the back line.
This will blow the margin out to 40 points. We've only just ticked into time on second quarter. A high-scoring affair at Coburg City Oval. In he comes Patrick Kerr for number 3. It's across the face. Margin extends out to 35. It's a minor score. 10-5-65 to 4-6-30. Angela to bring it in for the Lions.
Which way will he go? He'll go short again, Grigliano. Angela just making some space there. The kick near the goal square again for Gregory. Sean Gregory kicking dangerously, and this is where it can come unstuck. Another opportunity, Palmer. Kick into the pocket, Thomas. Just trying to stop it with his foot. Nothing doing. The kick there from Exon just for space and distance, and the umpire says we'll throw it in. Oh, they're under all sorts of pressure there. And that's what can happen with the short kicking if you don't hit your targets. And that was the case there with the Lions. Ball to be thrown in. 65 plays 30, 22 minutes gone almost in this second quarter. Working there at the back, Phillips did really well in the end to get that ball to ground. Here's Palmer. Saw his teammate into all sorts of trouble. And then Kerridge copped one again for his trouble. As the ball on the deck, the umpire will throw this up. Half forward for the Northern Blues. 35 points the margin. As we wait for the ball to be tossed up. And, well, it was Jones all on his own. Bring that ball down. Gallucci twisting and turning. Did well to get round Liam Hunt. And then kicks a high ball. Gregory sitting underneath it with the fist there for the Lions. It's right on the goal line. It's actually hit the behind post. So we'll have it thrown in right next to the behind post for the Northern Blues. Gee, they'd love another one here to really ram home the advantage. Which at the moment sits at 35 points. Ball tossed back in. It's a shallow throw in again. It was almost about to take Sam Kerridge's head off.
It's contagious today.
That throw in, I think, is carried about 7 metres.
Just slipping out of the hands, Hilly. It's not slippery out there, is it?
It is a little wet underfoot, so the ball might have been a little slippery.
That's a better one. Went past the rucks. Quick kick out of the packs. Another goal. It's another goal. It's Kerridge, who almost got falconed in the first boundary throw, and he picked up the ball, kicked the goal in the second one. Margin 41 points, heading towards half-time here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. And it's almost a commanding lead. 11-5-71, playing 4-6-30, 23 and a half minutes gone. But just on that point about the breeze, Hilly, it seems to have picked up as this second quarter's gone along.
Yeah, it has, boys. Probably just picked up, it might feel more like a 3-goal breeze at the moment. It certainly wasn't there in the first quarter. It was just a very, very slight breeze, but certainly picked up now.
6-6-42, playing 3-2-20. Score coming in from Burbank Oval. It's Williamstown leading. I'll give you a score of the Melbourne game in a moment.
Demons looking good though at Etihad Stadium. We're back in the middle here at Coburg City Oval. Kerridge got the handball out. Boghorst has it across half back. Handball back to Kerridge. From the middle of Coburg City Oval, plants it inside 50 and spots up Phillips. It's slick stuff from the Northern Blues today. They're out by 41 as we speak, and Phillips can get his name in the book. Goalless so far in season 2017.
A tricky kick now with this breeze picking up. We've slammed on the goals. 5 goals this quarter to none.
Another goal to Melbourne around the grounds, and they're out to a 26-point lead. All eyes though on Phillips here from just inside 50. Right foot's on the way. It's a beautiful kick. 47-point ball game in favour of the Northern Blues. 4-6-30. And I'll get you that Northern Blues score in a moment.
Peter Jones be very disappointed in this quarter, Adam. He was talking about intensity and high tackling pressure, and we just haven't seen it. And they're totally on top now, the Northern Blues.
Well, this is
12-5-77, the Northern Blues.
So this is what we saw in the opening quarter in the Collingwood game and the opening quarter against Box Hill last week as well, where they haven't been able to put the score on the board and been playing catch-up. They got it going in that opening quarter, but now, this second quarter, they haven't laid a finger on him. And here's Reece Palmer from the tap down for the Northern Blues. He's kicking a long ball. Mackay couldn't quite pick it up through the hands there of Jones too. It goes to the line. We'll have it thrown in.
They've really got to be careful here. There's probably 5 minutes or 4 minutes of play left in this quarter, and they really need to lock down, not allow another goal. Otherwise, this game is completely gone.
As the ball's tossed back in. Deep into attack again for the Blues. Phillips and Curtis doing the ruck work for the Lions this time. No one can break clear. Ojala trying to get the handball out. Did well in the end to Burgess. Burgess' kick was smothered though. Over the line, we'll have it thrown in. 26 gone. 77 playing 30 in this second quarter. Blues leading. Phil Cleary to join us at half-time here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Ball tossed back in. Curtis notionally getting the touchdown there. Now trying to find some space is Mullane. Mullane gets it back to Liam Hunt. Handball over the top. They're just going round and round in circles. Dodge involved in the chain. Back to Hunt, back into the middle of the ground. Now finding some space is Byrne. Sets his teammate running in Allen. Little handball over them. Kabadia did really well. Worked it across to Posa. Back to Mullane, who kicks inside the 50. That's a good build-up. Just can't quite take the mark there. Holdsworth has to bring the ball back out. They've still got some numbers here on the outer side. This little chipping ball should be okay. Posa dropped what he should have taken. They've still got the numbers though. Working here, Kabadia has to release the footy. It went straight up, straight down. He didn't know it. Now he's got the footy back again. Little handball towards the line. And Connor Byrne trying to get in to pick up that footy. It's over the line. We'll have it thrown in. 27 gone in this second quarter. 77 plays 30.
It's in that right forward pocket. Half-time siren approaching. What a quarter it's been for the Northern Blues. Boundary throw in as Phillips gets in front of McAvoy, ground level. And trying to escape with the ball is Kerridge, but he gets brought down. Good tackle, McAvoy, ball up. Galucci there as well, ex-Seagull.
Forgot to mention at quarter time there was a very prominent Coburg figure amongst the huddle, Mr. Nick Carnell.
Oh, is he?
Just came down to cheer on the Coburg
Did
boys.
you pass on your best?
Certainly did.
Yeah.
Ball's come out here. Dodge gets a shot on goal for Coburg. It goes the wrong side of the stick, and it's 4-7-31 Coburg. Northern Blues 12-5-77.
Did you mention to him that, always welcome up here with us?
Oh,
or has he left us for dead?
No, he certainly hasn't. And
here we go.
Got a turnover here, and Blair's going to get a shot on goal. Unconventional outside the right boot, and it's a goal. So a bad turnover there for the Northern Blues. 5-7-37 plays, 12-5-77. Margin back to 40 in the shadows of half-time here. Round 3 action, Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
Just confirming he hasn't left us for dead. Nick Carnell, the bright lights of television, taking him away.
He looked in good, Nick. Very good, Nick.
I'm sure he'd still be playing for Greensborough in the Northern Footy League.
I think he is playing this season. So
yeah.
It's getting out of hand at Etihad Stadium. Melbourne 80, Essendon 48.
Wow.
And Nathan Jones having a shot as we speak.
So back in the middle.
It's always the worry, I think, Adam, backing up after an Anzac Day, big emotional game.
The short turnaround as well.
I saw the VFL team after their big win last week having a loss. Mind you, so did the Pies. There's a quick release here for Northern Blues as Boakhurst gets it across. Palmer just going to go deep. This is bouncing footy. And it's through for a behind. Peppering the goals, 78 plays 37. Blues leading as we've ticked to 29 minutes in this second quarter. Again, the woes for the Lions continue here from the kick out. Ball going long. Right on the 50. Poser, good mark. Kick across to Wyatt. He's got plenty of bandaging around him now. Mellington going around in circles back to Poser, who kicks up the line. That's okay. Dodge kicks more into the middle of the ground. Nice spot up too. Found Lawler. Box Hill player Lawler kicks up the line. Just barely the required distance to Kabadia. As the Little Leaguers get ready in front of us to run out onto the ground. Kick in short again. Lawler there again. Too far out to score. So this goes with more of a low sort of barrel. Not sure how you would quite describe that kick. I know one way to describe it, effective, because now the Lions have a shot at goal. And after all the hard work here for the Blues, Liam Hunt on the quarter time siren. Again, we're on the half time siren. We saw on the quarter time siren they had a shot for goal. This one after the half time siren. I knew I'd get it out eventually. Liam Hunt has a goal. He kicked it in the opening quarter. Needs this one. He kept it low. There was no one on the goal line for the Blues. And that is an important goal for the Lions to keep them in touch. Liam Hunt has his second goal for the afternoon. But it's still a really big margin in favour of the Northern Blues. And they really did put the foot down as the players trudge off to half-time. 12-6-78. The Northern Blues playing 6-7-43. So 6 goals, 4 in that quarter to 2 goals, 3. And it sees the Northern Blues with a comfortable margin at half-time. The goal kickers to half-time, Jones and Kerr with 2 goals each for the Blues and singles to Buckley, Phillips, Mackay, Thomas, Armfields, Boakhurst and Kerridge. And 2 goals each to Mullane and Hunt for Coburg and singles to Poser and Blair. Quickly around the grounds before we take a break, Adam.
I don't know what's happening at Williamstown at the moment because that score is still showing 6-6-42. Williamstown, Box Hill 3-2-20. No indication that that's a half-time score just yet. 3-quarter time at Etihad Stadium. Melbourne 12-9-81. Essendon 6-12-48. 3 goals for Jack Watts and Jeff Garlett. Throw in Petraka as well. He's also got 3 for the Demons, 2 for Orazio Fantasia, who we've seen plenty of at VFL level over the years.
We have. Any messages to come from down on the boundary there as Gary O'Sullivan passed you, Hilly?
Just making sure that we'd spoken to Josh and he's all over it, Gary O'Sullivan.
Oh, love it. Magnificent work. All right, it is half-time here. Northern Blues 12-6-78, Coburg 6-7-43. Plenty to come here at half-time on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad.
Can you hear me? Hello? Just trying to find Phil.
Vision Australia help more than 33,000 people who are blind or have low vision. So if you find that glasses are no longer helping and you're struggling to complete daily tasks, why not give us a call? Our free services, provided by specialist staff, can help increase your independence. We also offer advice on equipment and provide training in how to travel around safely with limited vision. Vision Australia can help you make a real difference. Call us now, 1300 84 7466.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
1-2, Jamie Wickham first. Craig Lowndes
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
Next week, Peter Jackson VFL Live is at Burbank Oval for the round 4 clash between Williamstown and Coburg. That's next Sunday from 1:45, live on the Red Time Sport iPhone app and audio and video stream through vfl.com.au.
Peter Jackson, VFL Live, online, on digital radio, and the Red Time Sport iPhone app.
Where it is half-time here at Piranha Park. It's 12:6:78 to 6:7:43. As the half-time, we see the kids having a run around on the ground. The Oz Kickers are here. Everyone's here. And it is fantastic to see a beautiful day for footy here at Piranha Park, the Coburg City Oval, here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Well, joining us here in our commentary, I have to say, we haven't worked together for quite some time. Hello, Phil Cleary. Very nice to see you.
Peter. How lovely to see you up in the old box here at the City Oval Coburg.
We
Piranha
like it.
Park,
We
yes.
like it because we've got the old bell here, so if the siren doesn't work for whatever reason, we've got it covered up here.
And most of your colleagues in the media, they wouldn't sit in a box like this,
No.
would they? They'd want it to be far more plush.
We've done it the hard way. We've done it the hard way for
Are they
years,
giving
though.
you water, or what are you getting? You're not getting a glass of anything?
We are comfortable up here. Anyway,
Very good.
Let's get on to the business of today. It's been a
Yeah.
fantastic day already, and I think quite moving down there. You didn't have the microphone for the first part. It didn't really matter, and I think maybe, as we were talking about up here, added to the sense of occasion.
Thanks, Peter. Yes, it was like it's an amphitheatre down there, and to throw my voice just filled it with more emotion, I suppose, and gave me a great sense of place. You know, I really felt like I was connected to the people on the terraces. You know, before, in the luncheon, we had a message from the Premier, Daniel Andrews, and it was brilliant. It was so perfectly scripted by him and delivered beautifully. He mentioned Vicky. It made it so powerful and added to the significance of the day.
It certainly has. You were at the lunch. You talked about that lunch.
Yeah.
Rosie Batty was a part of that
Yes.
today. You've talked in the lead up to the event in numerous articles about Vicky's passing all that time ago, and how you were still continuing to play and then coach here at Coburg, and it wasn't really something that's discussed. We've come a long way in all that time.
I'm glad you say that, Peter, because it's so true. You know, when you look back, in August 1987, Vicky is murdered. No one in the VFA wore black armbands in the finals. No one talked about it publicly. It was like it was private business, and you didn't burden anyone. Like, I don't go and burden Peter Mercado with my sad experience. That's what it was like. But now we're public about it, as we have to be, because it is a scourge. You know, 60 women a year in Australia, and look at the week we've had: a woman in Wangaratta and a young woman doused with accelerant in Tasmania. I mean, this is horrific, and so often it's in the context of a separation in a family and men who believe that women belong to them. And we're now at least talking about it properly, Peter.
Well, the other part about that, I think one of the articles that I read, the finals in 88, through that premiership run, in the rooms on grand final day, you had the former member for Wills, he took his spot, Bob Hawke, in the room, and you did actually make mention, albeit briefly at that time, with the Prime Minister standing in the room.
Well, it's great, again, Peter, and I really respect the fact that you picked up on that, you know, in your researching and through the media and wherever, you know. It's true. And I was just talking to Billy Weatherall, a star player in those premierships. He kicked the final goal in '89, but he was a champion player who'd come from Fitzroy. And he was saying he remembered that I talked about the significance of family before the '88 grand final with Bob Hawke in the rooms. And I went a step further, and I'm sure I said something about you can't bring Vicky back, but a victory today might bring some comfort to my mum and dad. That was only 12 months after the murder, Peter, you know, so it was raw. A bit as raw as it is for Rosie Batty today with, you know, Luke Batty, her son being murdered only a handful of years ago. And so, you know, and I look back now and I do say Vicky drove that day. Her spirit was with me. And we went back-to-back in magnificent games of football at Windy Hill. Big crowds against a great side in Williamstown. They had power-packed Ian Rickman, Barry Round, and we won those premierships. Those boys, you know, I love them so much. And today, Ken Ingram, Rob Evans, Brad Nimmo, Steve Gumley, Vinnie Tarano's coming, and it was just superb.
It's like we're back on the ABC having another chat again.
Yeah.
But one of the things here, and you talked about it pre-game, and you've brought it in, and our audience can't see, but you've got a lovely statue with the name Vicky Cleary at the bottom, and that's going to be given to a player on the ground. Just tell us a little bit about the origins of this.
Well, I talked with a bloke called Anton Hazel. We used to say Anton Hassel, so I'd have to just check with Anton to see whether we're going Hazel or Hassel. He is a sculptor, an artist, and we talked, and this was many years ago. I talked with him 40 years ago, and we were talking about Vicky recently. And so we decided that he would make this figurine. And it doesn't need to be literally Vicky, but it's got enough of Vicky's image in it, and it's about justice. And it'll be presented to the winning captain and coach today. And it looks like Josh Fraser's mob are just ahead of the
long way to go. Long way to go.
True, but you know it'll symbolise the day and Vicky and the lost women in a football setting. Popular culture, as you know, it's the place where men learn things and good men can hold sway. So a beautiful day.
But do you also then envisage that these two teams will play off for this
every
figurine each year? It's going to be a permanent fixture.
Permanent fixture. I've just got to discuss whether it just happens at Coburg being Vicky's kind of place. But that'll be the idea. And I must say to the Northern Blues, Gary O'Sullivan, Steve Papel, the president, they've embraced the idea, and I love them all. It's Bruce Dool, the champion Carlton player, came from there too, so I'm going to be out there. I think I'm doing Craigieburn. I am a couple of other clubs aspiring.
Do you see things like the AFLW, the VFL, the women's competition helping to change some of those attitudes as well?
Without a doubt, because you know we haven't got enough time to explore all these elements. But you look at the women's footy; it caught us by surprise. We love it. There's a touch of romance about it because it's an old world game. It's not quick, fast game like the modern blokes game. It is, and I say respectfully, played by women of different shapes and sizes. You know, in international athletics, they're all sleek. In basketball, they're tall and pretty sleek, you know. And here we have this Aussie rules game, which has always had a bit of democracy about it in talls and smalls, and it's got women of different shapes. And some women have said to me, you know what, it's like watching my girlfriends out on the footy field. This is what women really look like. They're not, you know, instead of the stereotypical model-style woman. So it's improving that perception of what women really are and breaking down stereotypes that bring with them back everywhere in our AFL setting. Why do we not have an AFL game dedicated to the women lost and the campaign to stop the violence?
Round.
Why not round?
Don't think about game, think about round.
Exactly. We've started here in the community at Coburg, which was Vicky's home. So it's got to move on to the AFL. Surely it has to. It really must.
You'd think so. That awareness that you can spread around the country all in one weekend.
Yeah, without a doubt. And make clear that let's not be superficial about it. It's got a hard edge to it. The hard edge is that men have got to, as I said before the game when I addressed the crowd, men have to take a responsibility. You can't be a party to derisive conversations and derogatory expressions about women. You can't be putting women down and treating them as chattels, because that's the cultural backdrop to the violence.
Yes.
So it brings with it real responsibilities for men.
And that's the point. That's the key thing that we need to make clear, and that's the thing that needs to change.
Well, it is. It's cultural change. And look, we can all accept, we grow up as blokes. We inherit that blokey DNA, and it becomes a challenge for us. We're all capable of reforming ourselves and modifying ourselves and acknowledging that the world's changed and our relationship with women can change. It's not about being saintly, you know. We're not saying to blokes, oh, you can't go and chase a woman. You can't go out to a nightclub and look for, a woman to be with. I mean, it's not about that. It's just about saying that women have rights. There's consensual sex, for example, questions that I think we've grappled with in male culture not very well.
Yep.
And I think some of our reporting on incidents in the footy world were pretty poor. I think they were full of prejudice towards women, and now we're grappling with that, and that's a good thing.
The umpires are coming back out on the ground. We are at your home ground. I did call you the Mayor of Coburg, and I stand by that. But do you think they could turn it around to you, the Lions? Your mighty Lions.
Well, I tell you what, Peter, there were games in the past when I was coaching and we were further down than this and we won in a sprint. It's possible.
It is possible.
Maybe they need me to deliver that three-quarter time address. Is that what you're suggesting?
Good luck. Well, good luck. You had your microphone in enough times. Peter German holds them for a long time.
I know he wouldn't let me in there. Peter's a pretty tough-talking man.
I miss hanging out with you.
It's so good to talk to you, Peter. We have such a good time. And I remember you telling me about, I reckon, your grandmother, or was it in Brunswick?
Coburg. 5 minutes down the road.
We had great conversations about that.
Phil,
You too.
We'll take a break. Back with the second half next on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations, plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital. Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
1-2, Jamie Wickham first. Craig Lowndes
And
second.
you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
On Aussie Digital, streaming live through VFL.com.au and on the Red Time Sport iPhone app, this is Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
We are racing into the second half. It's always great to catch up with Phil Cleary here at his home turf, on his home turf here at Coburg. But a bit of work for his Lions to do. 12-6-78, the Northern Blues, Coburg 6-7-43. While we have some opportunity to go around the grounds, we might take it. Melbourne going to run away with that match at Etihad Stadium, Adam?
They certainly are. 14-9-93, the Demons. This is halfway into the last quarter. Essendon 7-12-54. So they're a bit enigmatic this year, the Demons. And we are underway between the Cats and the Magpies. 2 straight 12. Geelong, Collingwood 1-2-8 as the second half is not far away from starting. And again, not sure what's happening.
So half-time, I'll give you that half-time score. It's Williamstown 7-9-51 to Box Hill 5-3-33.
So we've lost a live feed on those scores, so we'll try our best to stay on touch on those.
Meanwhile, though, the third quarter is getting underway here at Piranha Park. Adam, take us away.
Hunt got pushed out of that one by Thomas, who had a good first half. It's trickled inside 50 here for the Northern Blues. Over the top of it now is Wilson. Needed to get the handball out and couldn't. It was good pressure from the Lions and a ball up. Third quarter action. Peter Jackson, VFL Live, round 3. Umpire throws it up. Good sunshine here today. It's a lovely late April day. It's the last day of April. Here's Gallucci. Got away from one, put it onto the boot. And unlike the second quarter, the Blues don't get a first-minute goal in the third. It's a minor one.
Hilly, anything from you on the boundary for us here at halftime?
Certainly no major injuries to report. There were a few knocks throughout the first half, but all seem okay at the moment.
As the long ball comes in for the Lions, they really need to just heap the scoreboard pressure on. Emotionally, the better end, but here's Boakhurst again. The kick across the ground looking for Wilson. The fist coming in there from Lawler for the Lions. They've still got some numbers. Stavro again. Back to Wilson for the Northern Blues. Kicking across the ground. Boakhurst takes the mark and runs on. He runs to 50. It's a long ball. It's going across the face of goal. Well, almost there. Jones had to work his opponent underneath it. Couldn't do so. Thomas tracking it to the line and will throw it in. So right near the behind post for the Northern Blues. They're looking to put the foot down early on. A couple of goals to the Lions late in the second quarter. And it's thrown. Well, it's a very shallow throw in again, so we'll do it again. And Daisy Thomas wasn't happy with that because he had a clear path to run onto that, put through the goal. Take two. And it's Goodwin front position. Tapping it down. Mellington overrunning the footy. Some good pressure there. Pickett just handballing it towards the line. And it goes through for another behind. 12-8-80 the Northern Blues. 6-7-43 Coburg. 2 gone. Third quarter. Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
Increased wind that will favour Coburg in this third quarter. Cleary, no relation to bring this one in for the Lions. And that's a bad one because it could result in the turnover, but no Blues were near it. Eventually a hand pass over the top and Carigliano got it across. They won't work this out. It's picked off, and now Jones gets the goal.
No, hit the post.
He was fist pumping, and that's what I was watching.
Well,
it's twice today. We've seen an early premature celebration.
Maybe he likes hitting the woodwork too. Hilly, that breeze, which way is it blowing, and how strong is it from ground level?
Yeah, it's blowing towards the Coburg end at the moment, and I would say it's still a 3-goal breeze. It's certainly picked up in the second quarter, and it's probably just as strong at the moment.
Well, the kick out here has gone over the boundary line without anyone touching it, so it's going to be a free kick here to the Northern Blues. And they're setting up here for a little J curve. Can they make them pay this time? Pickett trying to bend it back. Nah, across the face. Stuck in for a behind.
Almost an impossible shot from that pocket, Pete.
12-10-82 playing 6-7-43. In fact, 12-9-81 playing 6-7-43. 3 gone in this third quarter. Here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Next week, Williamstown and Coburg, our match for broadcast from Burbank Oval.
Carigliano, both teams in action today, of course. Box Hill down against Williamstown. Around the grounds, he went long toward the outer side. There's a free kick here for the Northern Blues. Who's going to claim it? It's the big man Phillips who gets it off by hand to Boakhurst. We're back inside 50, going back nicely. It's a really good mark taken by Exxon, ex-Hawk. Now Kabadia wrapped up, but pushing the back or held. I think the umpire indicated the latter, so a free kick advantage paid for Coburg. Up towards half forward we go. Curtis couldn't quite get near that one. It goes out of play. Good pressure.
Well done by Keppel there, the 23rd player, putting in the spoil.
Phillips nominates himself alongside Goodwin. It's a contested ruckman for the Blues. Umpire brings this one in. Out of side here, early stages third quarter. It's Phillips that won it down in front of the space. It ends up in the hands of Dale Thomas, who gets a left foot up towards half forward, more in hope than anything else, and it didn't work out in the end as the Lions now work across half back. It's Goodwin getting the handball off, and now Allen right half back.
Yep, and now wants to go back inboard. Did well around Kerry, just buying some space. They're doing this well, the Lions. Good build-up. First one inside 50. Well, in terms of good build-ups this quarter. Working there, Curtis! Bending it too much. Did Tyler Curtis, 197 centimetres. That'll be the marking option down there. And put it through for a behind. 81 plays 44. Dylan Buckley to bring the ball back in for the Blues. As searching for options. And one of them is short. And that's Keppel, who runs into a bit of trouble. He's got some players out the back. Class has it. Called to play on by the umpire. Trying to kick outside the 50. It holds up in the breeze. Carigliano took the fair from Wilson, the skipper of the Blues, across to Keppel. Keppel tries to clear the 50. It's a square. It's through. Another one for the Lions. He's third in a row. They're 8-9-57. 9 minutes gone in this third quarter here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Around the grounds, the Demons leading by 32 points over the Bombers into time on in the final quarter, and it's the Pies by 1 point into time on in the opening quarter against the Cats over at the MCG.
So 2 games in town today. There's another one in the VFL as well taking place at Williamstown. They're up by a couple of kicks against the Box Hill Hawks, a rematch of a recent grand final in 2015, won by the Seagulls. Umpire throws it up for the secondary ball up. A little touch there from Phillips, but Coburg got the clearance. It goes towards half forward. Is that a diving mark? No. Or with the tackle, ball up at the top of 50. And the Lions are looking good early in the third quarter here. 9.5 minutes in. The margin's still significant, 25 points as Phillips tried to win that one down. A fresh air kick, didn't go far off the boot of Palmer. Never hit his boot actually. Ball up. That would make more sense, Peter Mercado. At the corner of the square here.
This is what we see time after time with these Lions. The slow start, but boy, they can get a run.
Thomas involved in this one again, as is Phillips on all fours. A lot of numbers around this ball at the moment. And now Blythe lays a tackle on Kerridge. Inside the centre square here as the umpire crosses his arms once more. 12-10-82, Northern Blues. Coburg 8-9-57. One of the great rivalries in the Peter Jackson VFL, a battle of Coburg as we go inside 50 once more for the Lions. Goodwin. Ball got fisted away from him by Jackson. Now it's Thomas outside of the right boot. We've got a foot race on centre wing. Broadcast side, Allen. He gets brought down. Good tackle by Jones. Allen's got the ball out in time here. And now it's Coburg running through the middle. As we go inside 50, a helicopter, Goodwin, last man back, couldn't take the mark. At the fall, it's Dodge, who dribbles a nice one. What a start for the Lions to start the third quarter.
Well, they're right up to their eyeballs in it now. They keep this momentum going, but as we talk about, Hilly, they've got the breeze in the third term. They need to make the most of it.
Oh, certainly. They'll need to get their noses in front to have a chance of snatching this come-from-behind victory. But certainly they're showing all signs at the moment, playing on instinct. There's a lot of play on, get it to boot quickly, and that's working for them.
Fans of Peter Jackson VFL Live, when it was VFL Radio back in the day with Nick Dodge. Remember a former sponsor of ours and the problems I used to have? My kind of player. The ball back in the middle.
So the margin was 35 points down to 19.
They're whittling it down. They needed to get a lot closer though as Jones held up in the contest, and the umpire will throw it up inside the circles. 82 plays 63. Northern Blues leading. Breeze picking up, ever increasing as all in the ruck there for the Lions. 360 to round the place was Daisy Thomas. So managed to get the handball out. Kerridge running onto it into the path here of Palmer. He's got a turn and twist and he's tackled. Still got an outlying player. It ends up with Kerridge again. He'll kick in the middle of the ground, look for Thomas, who takes the mark. Edge of the square, centre wing, just calling his players to slow down. Goes across the ground for Buckley, who's looking around. In fact, it's Russell, not Buckley. What am I saying? Spots up a player further ahead. And they look to build again. This is Cunningham, who goes high over the back. No mark taken by Mackay. Here's Palmer trying to paddle in front of him. Blair there as well. Gallucci, though, dribbling ball. He's put it through. It's a goal.
There was a free kick paid there and an advantage. So,
well, everyone stopped. I even stopped too. But Gallucci just beautifully dribbled it home. He's got great skills. And he's put that one through. And that's a nice settler for the Northern Blues after the flurry of goals from Coburg. And now it's 13-10-88, playing 9-9-63, 13 gone in the third quarter here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Demons by 38 over the Bombers, Pies by 2, heading towards quarter time at the MCG and almost done at Etihad Stadium.
Wind is picking up here at Coburg City Oval as well, 25-point game. And we're back in the middle. Mark Orr's in the ruck now, up against Jones. All got the first touch on it. Jones just bumped an opponent out of that one. That was Poser. A little handball towards half forward, but Coburg have numbers back there. One of those is Byrne. Goes toward Allen at half forward. Just nudged his man Stavro out of the contest. Allen needs some help. Poser with the soccer kick inside 50 and marked by Jacks for the Blues, who goes with the switch to Thomas. Dale Thomas. Again, playing largely unmarked today. Got it to Dick Place. The Blues go down the line broadcast side here. Foot race is on for the ball. It's picked up first by Mullane's. Had a good game for Coburg. Kabadia against his old side. Goes inboard by hand. And now we're inside 50. A high wayward kick from Byrne lands out of bounds on the full Christian Jacks to take it for the Northern Blues.
He certainly burned him there as the kick to Thomas. Little low ball, nicely taken by Kabadia. Former teammates. There's the kick now from Thomas, trying to exit the 50. It's a high ball. Oh, again! That's 3 today from Liam Jones. He had a real good run up at that one. 3 for the highlight reel. Really easy to cut highlights for this one. Don't worry about that. Darian White has given away a free kick meanwhile. Just get all of Liam Jones's marks. In fact, no, it's a free kick going the Lions' way to Tom Cleary. So, goes up the line looking for Hunt and finding him. Too far out to score, you would think 70 from goal. Wants someone driving past, won't find him. Thinking about handballing to Mellington. Instead, he kicks long up to the top of the goal square. Ball falls to the back. Cabetti's got a couple there to get past. One of those is Strawn for the Blues. It's reeling towards the line. Stavry trying to keep it in. The umpire says throw it in. We'll have a throw in on the outer side. Still inside 50 for the Lions. 88 plays 63. Blues leading. 15 and a half gone in this third quarter. Ball tossed back in. 45 around from the Coburg goal. It's Jones with the double fister. Right into the path here of Poser, who goes with the outside of the boot. Puts it out of bounds on the full. And unfortunately, you don't want your car parked there, because it's just hit a car over the other side of the shed. That's not your parking spot, is it, Adam?
I think we're safe. For
EDFL finals, is that where you park? Inside the grounds?
No, tend not to. I don't think football operations appreciates that.
So we have to find the footy first. But anyway, back into play.
And Jones again goes for a mini fly, but it comes off hands and out of bounds. Behind play going down was Mackay. And he's up. Everyone's okay.
He's playing some great football, Liam Jones.
Well, as I said earlier in the second term, he's played a lot of good footy at this level. I suppose that's not his problem, is it? Boundary throw in. He was in the ruck contest against Goodwin that time. The clearance came from Thomas, but there's no one ahead really if the Blues get their hands on the ball here. It's at the top of 50 as we speak, but it's a Coburg ball. Mellington was brought down as he got boot to ball. The kick went up in the air. Did it go 15? It did. That's a good mark by Daisy.
Just around the grounds quickly. 8-10-58 Williamstown. Box Hill 7-3-45. 11 into the third.
2 games taking place today in the Peter Jackson VFL. Started on Friday night with the reigning premier.
Can even update that. I'll do that in a moment.
Reigning premier Bulldogs beating North Ballarat as the Blues go inside 50. The mark is taken by Kerr. Right under the scoreboard.
15 gone. 8-11-59 Williamstown. Box Hill 7-3-45.
Box Hill playing Coburg next week. No, Williamstown, in fact, it's playing Coburg next week. Peter?
Full time at Etihad Stadium. 17-10-1-12 the D's. 11-14-74 the Bombers. Demons by 38 there.
That'll be our game next week.
Pies by 4 quarter time at the MCG.
Kerr's kick doesn't quite get there and it's fisted through by the skipper Goodwin. Minor one in the end for the Blues. 13-11. Plays 9-9, almost time on third quarter.
Lodge allowed to bring the ball back in. See if they can move it up the corridor. No, they're going to favour that outer side. And juggling mark taken by Jacks. Outside the 50 for the Blues. Thinking of just putting it in long. Not too many options alongside, so he's just going to bomb it. To the top of the goal square he goes. They fly. Blythe there at the back. Thomas lurking. Mackay there dragged to ground. No one can get clear. And the umpire will throw it up. Everyone picking themselves up. Oh, no play on. Free kick called by the umpire. There's a little chipping ball here. Mullane had to work hard. He did a power of work to take that mark. He does, just inside the boundary line. His kick across is not great, but they're still up to the challenge here. Ursula for the Lions need to be clean with their possession. They're not at the moment, but still getting opportunities. Mellington, well, ridden into the back, and that'll be a free kick. Free kick to Mellington for the Lions. They break now, the Lions. The kick going up towards half forward. This is a high ball and falls to the back anyway. There's a bit of wrestling going on in front. The class takes the mark. There's Goodwin involved in that wrestle. Goes across the ground, Jacks for the Blues as they look to exit the 50. Boakhurst. And one of the best players for the Blues today so far. He's kicked backwards. Inside defensive 50 finds Dylan Buckley. They look to switch to the broadcast side where it's 2-on-2, but O'Shea had plenty of time to run onto the footy and take the uncontested mark. His kick to the skipper is good. A little bit of a push for his trouble. But Wilson takes it half-back flank near the boundary line. He kicks up the line. That's another strong mark. It's Mackay. And just getting a little bit of advice there from White, who's standing the mark. So Mackay kicking up towards half forward. Kerr, almost the mark. You're going to be paid it. Did he have a good piece of it? Was it a free kick? He's landed very heavily anyway. He did fly. And he'll end up having a shot for goals. The end result.
Kerridge looking for the handball.
Yeah, it's certainly on the handball off here. Not picking him up either.
So Kerr just standing there, getting ready to, well, theoretically have a shot. Kerridge just alongside for advice and support. But this is a tough kick. So Kerr on the boundary line, 55 out. The swimming pool side. His kick goes high, deep, to the goal line. It's marked. They got the mark. Jack's got the mark. And Jack should be able to put this through. No problem at all. Top of the goal square. Chance to put the 14th on the board. They'll make it really tough for the Lions from here. As Jax comes in and makes no mistake. 14-11-95 playing 9-9-63. Blues leading, 21 minutes gone in this third quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live. And it looks like, Hilly, the Blues have stemmed the tide.
Yeah, they certainly have. A lot of cool heads in the last 5 minutes or so, including Dale Thomas and Kerridge as well. And they're back on top. And considering they'll have a breeze in the last quarter, they're well situated to take out this game.
Final score at Etihad Stadium. Melbourne too good for Essendon, 7-10-1-12. Bombers 10-14-74. It's Collingwood by 4 points early stages at the MCG against the Cats. Back in the middle. 95 plays 63 here. Time on third quarter in favour of the Northern Blues. Goodwin over the top of the ball. Actually picked it up as well, but the pressure was immediate from Phillips. Coburg eventually extracted the ball. Allen, hand pass over the top. Now Hunt's under some pressure. Got brought down. Good tackle, and it's a free kick for the Northern Blues. Cunningham to take it on centre wing broadcast side.
8-11-59 Williamstown. Box Hill 7-4-46. 19 minutes into the third.
So slightly closer one than we've got here at the moment at Burbank Oval as Thomas goes over the top. That was okay. O'Shea marked, kept on going. Went deep inside 50 against some big flies. Was there a mark? No, it's at ground level. And Goodwin actually picked it up and tried to escape. Then he lost it. Quick snap on goal. It's going to go high and marked on the line for Coburg by Sean Gregory.
It was Dyson Stevens who kicked it.
So Gregory has it right on the goal line here. Escapes from the goal square, then goes broadcast side. Goodwin sandwiched that time. The fist came, and at ground level it's Thomas again, the short left footer. That gets cut off, but it didn't go 15, so Burner to keep going. Went high with a dangerous switch here, and getting back and forcing the contest was Mackay. Now it's in the hands of Paulson. He's under pressure. He got brought down. Free kick advantage paid for Coburg, and they go towards half forward, and Dodge will take the mark, and he keeps on running.
Should keep
He's
going.
got some space, and he's got a chance to have a shot as well. Dodge for his second of the quarter. A wobbling points.
Oh,
not good purchase off the boot. It was a helicopter, a floater and then ended up falling short of the mark in the end. It's 9-10-64, playing 14-11-95, 23.5 gone third quarter.
He almost was running too fast there. He didn't have time to steady himself. The kick going long outside the 50. Phillips again, Goodwin. Goodwin just defecting the spoil. Mullane overrunning it. He's being tackled by Stevens, trying to extract the footy. The umpire says we'll throw it up. On the numbers, the 5 and the 0 here at Piranha Park. 95 plays 64. 24 minutes gone. Need the next one here, the Lions, then have any chance in this game. Kerridge laying the tackle. Armfield there as well. The umpire says holding the footy.
Wow.
Holding the footy as they unpick themselves. Well, it was Goodwin, so you grab it out of the ruck. That's bound to happen. And it's a right call from the umpire.
He's very stiff not to get one for too high in the ruck. Phillips had pulled him down from behind, and that's how he sort of fell on the ball there.
So Kerridge to Cunningham, working into the middle of the ground, goes to Russell. Russell's kick across the ground to Keppel, the 23rd player. Acre of space on centre wing. He kicks up towards Wilson. Coming out, taking a strong mark. Half forward flank. Now he kicks up towards 50. Kerridge takes the mark. A few driving by. Boakhurst was one of those. Decides against that and then goes short kick style. And Armfield comes in to take the mark. Quickly he can snuff out a challenge. Nick Dodge working his way inside 50. Put that through to make things interesting, but instead comes all the way down the other end, and Dennis Armfield.
This will take a good kick, Pete. That wind is still moving nicely towards the other end.
25 minutes gone in this third quarter. He'll kick from 45 out, almost directly in front. He's kicked more from 48. More no problems. Well done, Dennis. 15-11-101. Northern Blues have cracked the ton. And for Dennis, that's his second goal for today. Been a good performance from him. Been a good performance across the board for the Blues. 15-11-101 plays 9-10-64. Here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Almost 26 minutes gone in the third quarter. And talk about snuffing out a challenge. Well, that's the way to do it. We'll bring you a score update as well when we get an opportunity over at Burbank Oval. 21 minutes gone, 11:59. Williamstown, Box Hill 7-5-47.
Thank you, Peter Mercado. Back in the middle, late third quarter here. Coburg would love a late one. They've got it across half back. Posar with the switch, it's okay. The mark is taken by Orr, quickly got it on, and then Mellington, he got held up as he tried to come crashing through. He'll get the free kick. And he goes short. Allen has some space on the outer wing, left it behind, and now the pressure's coming. Had some teammates around him, and they get away with it in the end. Wyatt, Orgler, Wyatt. Copped a knock earlier in the game, has some headwear taped up around that skull of his. Now we go short Orgler. So Coburg working in triangles at the moment in a tight space across half back. Now they're asked to play on. The ball goes all the way back to Gregory. Hand pass goes over the top. Orgler has his captain available, but first he has to deal with the tackling of Liam Jones, who's had a really good game. Coburg hold on to possession. It's at half back, the handball down the line, it comes unstuck. Really ugly possession there by Coburg, and now it's Pickett for the Blues. Hand pass came out. Kerr sends it long and deep. Jones one-on-one. Only had one hand to contend with. Some good defending. It's Exxon that has it for Box Hill. He goes for Allen. Coburg out of danger.
They are as he goes further afield. Needs to be clean with the neck position. Not, but did okay. Burn. Ran into trouble. Lost a handle on it holding the footy. Holding the footy, so all that good work gets undone as Buckley, well, he's thought about taking the kick, gave it to O'Shea, he's giving it back to Buckley. A couple of short kicks, back outs, Stavrou. Cross to Jacks, who goes short. And they just got some time to run down here. Keppel. Still inside defensive 50 here, Keppel. Centre half back, kicks across the ground. Well, I think that was looking for Cunningham. Yeah, that or he's trying to waste a hell of a lot more time. 28 gone in the third. 101 plays 64. The Blues holding the advantage at the moment. Geelong a point up. 17 minutes to go in That game, the second quarter at the MCG. Meanwhile, back here, Mellington's kick sprays off a couple of players. It falls to Posar, who's got some players overlapping. Working back there is Dodge. Back to Posar, who's a little chipping ball into the goal square off hands, one behind. 9-11-65, Coburg. Northern Blues 15-11, 101. 29 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Jacks went short for Paulson. We've had a goal at the MCG. Paulson coughs up that one. Turnover. Coburg with the chance just outside 50. Now Holdsworth can't take the mark, but he will get the free kick, it seems. High contact.
Now all we need is a siren to go. We'll have perfect 3 quarters of kicks after the siren.
Liam Hunt was that goal kicker in the first quarter. Nathan Blair at the end of the first half. That goal at the MCG went Collingwood's way, so they're back in front. But all eyes right now on Cam Holdsworth. 2 goals from his first 2 games to start this Peter Jackson VFL season. This can make it 3 from 3. Late in the third quarter, you could argue to keep Coburg in it. Kicks the goal. On the siren.
Oh, we're going to claim that. We're claiming that.
10-11 plays 15-11. So it's an even 30 points at 3-quarter time here at Coburg City Oval.
So 15-11, 101. And I didn't quite catch Coburg's score there before the scoreboard change. I'll give you all the goal kickers anyway. 10-11-70. 20-11-71. So 30 points is the margin heading into 3-quarter time. For the Northern Blues, the goal kickers today, 2 goals each to Jones, who's taken 3 spectacular marks. So Jones, Kerr, Armfield and Gallucci, and singles to Buckley, Phillips, Mackay, Thomas, Boakhurst and Kerridge. And for Coburg, 3 goals to Blake Mullane, 2 each to Posar and Hunt, and singles to Blair, Dodge and Holdsworth. 30 points is the margin. Big final quarter to come. Stick around, plenty more. An exciting final quarter here from Piranha Park. Next on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly, you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations, plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer.
Or check out digitalradioplus.com.au.
And upgrade to digital.
Last year, Vision Australia helped more than 33,000 people who are blind or have low vision. So if you find that glasses are no longer helping and you're struggling to complete daily tasks, why not give us a call? Our free services, provided by specialist staff, can help increase your independence. We also offer advice on equipment and provide training in how to travel around safely with limited vision. Vision Australia can help you make a real difference. Call us now, 1300 8474
The Red Time Sport iPhone app is here and ready to download. The app allows you to listen to the different sports BPM media broadcasts wherever you are in the world, including VFL and TAC Cup radio and a whole lot more. You can interact with the commentary team in real time via the Red Time Sport iPhone app feedback and social networking buttons. Plus, check out upcoming broadcasts. Catch up with the latest sports headlines from around the world via the Sports News button. The Red Time Sport iPhone app. Download it from the iTunes Store today. Visit bpmmedia.com.au for more details.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
Next week, Peter Jackson VFL Live is at Burbank Oval for the round 4 clash between Williamstown and Coburg. That's next Sunday from 1:45, live on the Red Time Sport iPhone app and audio and video stream through vfl.com.au.
Peter Jackson VFL Live, online, on digital radio and the Red Time Sport iPhone app.
So back here at Piranha Park, it is a 30-point lead to the Northern Blues. 15-11-101 to 10-11-71. Breeze picking up here at Piranha Park. Next week, just a reminder, Williamstown and Coburg is our match for broadcast. Let's go around the grounds. Earlier a win for Melbourne over Essendon, and we're seeing the Pies with a narrow lead there, Adam.
Turn the mic on there. 4-7-31, Collingwood leading Geelong at 4-1-25. That's a home game for the Cats at the MCG. We know there's a redevelopment taking place at Simmons Stadium.
It's looking very good, by the way.
It's actually stayed Simmons for a while, actually. It's a bit of a record, I think, for that particular venue. But, Collingwood up by a goal. Melbourne got the earlier win today. We've had some trouble with the live scores from Williamstown, but how's it looking at the moment?
I will find that for you momentarily. Give me a moment to get through it.
We'll come back there. So both teams in the huddles as we speak.
Three-quarter time. It is a 4-point lead to Williamstown. 8-11-59 to Box Hill. 8-7-55.
There we go. Here it's a 40-point lead.
30-point lead.
30-point lead. My math not great. We'll give him a pass mark so far.
Yep.
But I don't know if we've seen enough for him to just walk back into the AFL side.
The set shot thing gets me as well. Experienced player and giving off the ball more often than not to his teammates, which is fine. But
surely that's just an unselfish sort of thing, though. I mean, a player of that ilk who's
if you're 20 metres out directly in front, it may be great in the set shot, but even then, it doesn't matter. You're 20 metres out, you should be able to go back and have the shot. Anyway, we'll see what comes of this final quarter, because the other thing too, you talk about the hard and tough sort of stuff, is if the game blows out from here, it's not really going to be an enormous test for him. But, he's done okay. Probably another week at this level. But been very impressed by Blaine Boakhurst today. He's been super impressive.
Yeah, he's been quite good as well. Jax, I reckon, had a good third quarter, did kick a goal, and he had an impact as well. So some of these AFL listed guys having impacts today.
Hilly, you've been listening to Peter German, who's finally broken up his huddle. Mind you, Josh Fraser kept him for a long time as well.
Yes, look, Peter was pretty happy with that quarter, and he'd like to see a bit more ferocity and run in the last quarter, and certainly use their speed. And he's quite happy with their fitness and thinks they can run this game right out. Obviously, they're going to be up against it going against the wind here, but certainly some determination post half-time.
Absolutely. It'd be interesting to see, actually, if we were voting a best player on the ground, which we don't necessarily do anymore, but there'll be a few there for the Northern Blues. But there will be a presentation, we mentioned at half-time, that statuette of Vicky Cleary, the figurine, to be handed out to the winning captain. Who will it be? At the moment, it looks like it's going to be Tom Wilson in the Northern Blues, but we'll see what comes of this final quarter. We'll see if they get that run and carry, particularly as that breeze has picked up steadily throughout the day. It was quite still at the start of the game, Hilly, but now it is blowing, and it's blowing the way of the Northern Blues. How big is that breeze, do you think, in the final quarter?
It's just lightened off a bit at the moment, but you'd still think it's a couple of goals advantage to the Northern Blues end this quarter.
So they got it all against them at the moment, the Lions. The Blues, 15-11-101, Coburg, 10-11-71. As we wait for the last few spectators to make their way off the grounds.
It's a good crowd in today, Pete. One of the better crowds we've seen at Coburg early in the season.
It is. And knowing that this is going to be a permanent fixture now, the Vicky Cleary day between these two teams is even better.
Certainly is, and it's an important game for Phil Cleary and his family, and it's a great cause.
It's very overcast all of a sudden too. Away we go, final quarter action here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. 15-11-101 the Blues, 10-11-71 the Lions, and we'll take two on the bounce to get this final quarter underway.
Bounce, as we know, might be on its last legs. It's certainly been eradicated from some of the local leagues around here. Still see it in the VFL and of course the AFL. We'll see what happens with that, but that bounce wasn't great to start the final term. I'm surprised we are seeing bounces today because it's quite muddy in the middle, but it must be a good patch right in the dead centre. There is a free kick out of that. And it's going to go Coburg's way. It's actually downfield, and McAvoy's going to take it. Sends it long. Curtis caught behind this time. Couldn't take the mark. We have seen early goals in the previous quarters, but we're not going to get one here for Coburg as Buckley clears it out for the Northern Blues. A high one. And Carigliano actually did well to get the arm around and get a little fist in, then won it back for the Lions inside 50, or can't take the mark. Good pressure came there from Buckley. It goes out of play. And it's a boundary throw in left half forward for the Lions that are down by 5 kicks in this final quarter. They're going into the breeze toward Bell Street.
They are, as ball to be thrown in right near where the boundary line and the 50 intersect. It's a good throw in too, as Thomas just threw his head back there when he was trying to pick up the footy. Handball's back, and there's going to be a holding the ball decision. Good tackling pressure from the Lions, as it looks like Cabadier's given away the free kick. So good tackling pressure, I should say, from the Blues, as Buckley at the bottom of the pack kicks long. Oh, Jones, he didn't have to fly that time. He got it 3 back, goes off to Thomas. He wants to handball it across. Did okay, Gallucci. He can stream into goal here. He closes to 20, dribbling ball through.
You always worry when that dribble comes, Peter, but he just timed that one nicely and almost hit that left goal post, but managed to sneak it in the end. But why dribble? I guess that's the question.
3 goals for Andrew Gallucci, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, now 1 in the final quarter. And that's, I reckon, the challenge done. 16-11-107, the Northern Blues to Coburg, 10-11-71. 2 gone in this final quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live. And as Adam said, Hilly, you have your heart in your mouth a little bit when that dribble kick comes in, but he timed it sweetly.
He did time it sweetly. He was going that fast. I thought he could have nearly made it to the goal line without being intercepted. So he was flying, Andrew Gallucci there.
Both course wrapped up in the middle from the ball up. Secondary ball up coming up. The centre wicket area is, well, we've seen it a hell of a lot worse over the years here at Coburg. It's not so bad, but we are early season. Come back to us when the month is perhaps July. At half forward we go, and Mackay, he got wrapped up. Never really had a chance. Orgler got the handball out. Posar over the top. Wyatt, happy to see it out.
5th goal assist for Daisy Thomas in that sequence. Just to add to the body of work, the body of evidence from today.
Healy, I don't know if you could hear us at 3/4 time talking about Thomas's game. Do you give him a pass?
Oh, certainly do. A bit concerned why Coburg probably haven't manned him up better than they have, but he's certainly been a dominant player for the Northern Blues today.
So the Lions work it through the corridor. The handball was a little bit too hot. Hunt to Orr, back to Hunt. And they'll go towards half forward. They're down by 36 points as we speak. They got it back, the Blues. Paulson shrugged off one tackler, then had to shrug off a second. Handball came out. Left foot towards half forward. Mackay takes the mark. He did well that time in front of Gregory. Too far out to score though. Jones wants it deep. Gallucci's deep as well. Ball's heading for Jones. He's taken 3 big marks. And you can almost count that as 4.
I would.
Not as spectacular as the other 3. One of them in the second quarter, Healy, was in this spot, and he followed that up with a goal.
Yeah, he knows this spot, Adam, and I'd say if he just hangs this one out a little bit, she'll just go straight through the middle.
Liam Jones has a very impressive highlights reel today.
It's probably the easiest side to kick a goal from if you're a right footer on that side. Just Breeze usually bends it back from right to left.
Yeah, exactly. So he can use this wind nicely. If he aims it at the right goalpost, it should be a goal. The kick's on its way, and he did not follow our instruction there, Hilly. He went left goalpost and it missed near side.
Didn't really kick through that one either. He just sort of poked at it a little bit, which is... He's kicked very well today, so yeah, he'll just have to work on the next one.
A lead of 37 points.
Orgler to bring the ball back in, kicks to himself, and then goes long deep outside the 50 is Goodwin. He was taken out of the contest. Davrou kicking across the ground, looking for Cunningham and finding him. Edge of the square attacking side for the Blues. Kicks inside the 50, Mackay. Takes the mark. Oh, this is looking dangerous in terms of a blowout now for the Blues. And so he goes to set up the mark. Ryan Exon standing the mark.
We've seen the Blues a couple of times now, Pete, so far this season, and Harry McKay is really impressive as a leading forward. He knows where to run to space, and he's got great hands, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him in the seniors soon.
Okay, McKay. Potato. Missed.
Oh.
In fact, there's a whistle.
Yeah.
What have you seen, Hilly? Bit of push and shove afterwards with the kick.
McKay.
Yeah, giving it away, and Ryan Exon just a bit of push and shove sort of stuff as well. So did that go through? Has that been called as a behind? It has.
Yes.
But it'll be a downfield free kick to Orgula, who comes back and kicks short. And that's found Mellington, former Richmond VFL player. Good fist coming in here from Wilson. That kick went further afield. Corigliano working across. Here we go. Blythe kicks up the line, and that's okay. They're just going to settle here, or has the footy. And now he kicks up towards the 50. Need a flyer almost there from Holdsworth. Couldn't quite bring it down. The ball going towards the boundary line. Wilson working with Orr, trying to keep it in. Instead, it'll be thrown in.
The way it's looking with this result and also what's happening at Williamstown, there'll be no ladder change for either side here today.
Well, Box Hill 9-8-62 leading Williamstown 8-11-59, 2 minutes into the final quarter.
Unless, of course, Box Hill gets up, in which case the Blues have a chance to go above Williamstown on the ladder. Blythe gets it inside 50. I reckon that's the first time today that Box Hill has led that game, Peter Mercado. It's a boundary throw-in.
Close to it.
In front of the Aquatic Centre here. It's been all Northern Blues today. They started out so well. They kicked 6 goals in both the first and second quarters. Coburg have not really been able to get too close since. Boundary throw-in. Bell Street into the ground, and Phillips eased it down nicely. And it's a Blues clearance. It's a very high one, though. Wilson actually took the mark, almost uncontested in the end in front of Exxon. We're used to seeing in brown and gold. Exxon, short pass for Kerridge. He has it right half back. Deep, short pass, not 15 for Dale Thomas. His kick a little too hot. Cabardier was at the full for Coburg, and then it came unstuck. Turnover, Bocourse got involved. Hand pass out wide. Thomas back to Kerridge. Back where we started. 8 minutes last quarter.
Northern Blues probably just been a little bit more composed with hand today as opposed to Coburg, and that's it's an area of the game that Coburg can work on for sure.
Yep.
Kerr goes short. That's not 15 either. The umpire's not calling some of these. As Jones goes up for 5, didn't bring it down, and Phillips. Jones just having a day today, isn't he? It's a ball up.
Well, don't worry, there's still plenty of time too.
The crowd's well aware of that because they all went up with him. That's Phillips. That's a nice little tap down there that he got down to Stevens. And now it's out the back, and Armfield gets the Blues long and deep once more, but that'll be a mark to Exxon. He juggled it at first, but did take it. Now he goes to Allen.
Yeah, the boundary line. He'll go back, looking for Russell and finding him. So at half back here for the Blues, 50 metres, creeping over the mark. So Russell will come all the way down the ground from half back to half forward.
Daisy Thomas just gone to the bench, boys. Copped a high one a few moments ago. He's just being looked over.
Now, where's Liam Jones? This kick's going to go in short, and that's all right. Armfield again. Now, Jones is in the goal square. Armfield, though, maybe could make the trip 52 out. He'll kick from just outside the 50-metre range.
I think he'll clear the fence,
yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem, the distance. Not with the wind. In he comes, Dennis Armfield. 52 metres out. Has it got the trip? It has, but not the accuracy. Misses left-hand side.
Good chest mark. Spectator in the crowd there.
16-14, 110 plays. 10-11, 71. 10.5 gone in this final quarter. It's going to be a win for the Northern Blues today.
Gregory has it as we speak for Coburg. And he'll go short for Corigliano. And he'll go short. Just keeping it in, clear it in front of you, Hilly.
Yeah, it's certainly out in the full.
Should be a Blues ball, according to you.
16-point Box Hill lead. 9 minutes gone, final quarter against Williamstown.
Cleary down the line. McAvoy in front takes a nice mark, and he Goes to the running Mellington, has it. He's got some space on Dick Place, goes toward half forward with his kick, but not being able to keep it in his Burgess. Boundary throw in front of the cricket nets here. This ground also a fine cricket venue for the Coburg Cricket Club. Boundary throw in, just outside 50. Approaching the halfway mark of this last quarter, 10-11-71 Coburg, Northern Blues 16. 14, 110. They'll get their second win of the season. Paulson brought down with a nice tackle by the 23rd man, Hayden Blythe.
He's been okay today, Hayden Blythe.
Young man out of Glenroy. He actually earned himself a free kick with that. So Blythe has it. He looks ahead to a very crowded forward line, so he just goes long in hope. All got fisted down, but in space here, Mullane, and he bounces one through. 11 now for Coburg, 11-11-77 to 16-14, 110. Mullane has another one.
Hey, you got 4 today. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, now 1 in the final quarter.
He's taken every opportunity, Blake Mullane, today, and he's been very consistent, actually, to start the season for Coburg. They just need a little bit more from others.
So 110 plays 77 now. It's 12 and a half minutes gone in the final quarter.
It's getting very dark here,
It
boys.
is. I was just thinking that. Dark and cold. Wouldn't have it any other way.
It's not a great lighting system either here at Coburg.
As Phillips getting the tap down. Wilson got the handball off. There was a kick smothered in there. Now Cunningham, who works backwards to go forwards. They've still got the numbers here. Over the top looking for Buckley, but coming through Lawler. Just puts his boot there. Pushes it towards the boundary line. He still managed to keep it in. Now takes one high. And the umpire says, holding the footy is the results.
Through to head back.
Keppel can't believe his luck. As the kick goes short. And the Blues will look to finish this strongly. Boakhurst kicks across the ground. And he's got some numbers here. Stavrou is one of those. He kicks towards Gallucci, who evades his opponent. He's got Blythe to beat. Gallucci got the front position. Might have caught one in the back. The umpire says no, we'll throw it in. And throw it in on 50 for the Northern Blues. Lead this 110 to 77. 13 and a half gone in the final quarter.
Goal to Darcy Moore around the grounds, and it's a margin of 17 points in favour of Collingwood.
We'll get a score from Burbank Oval as well, as we'll do a take 2 on the throw-in. We'll see if we can get something to you. I think still a handy margin to the Box Hill Hawks, as this one again sits up. Goodwin will take 3.
That boundary umpire has had a lot of bad luck with the throw-ins today. I think that's about the third one that's been recalled.
Yes.
Just struggling.
14 and a half minutes gone, 110 plays 77.
That's better.
That's a nice throw-in as Goodwin. Phillips over the top, getting the tap down. Blythe was pushed off the kick there. Working out Cunningham, he was taken without it. Working through Mellington for the Lions, just gets it out of close quarters and kicks high. Can't find a teammate initially with the mark as Holdsworth. I think there was a throw in there, and there was. And that'll be against Peter McAvoy. So the Blues with possession. Dylan Buckley kicks across the ground to Cam O'Shea, who's got to wait for this footy. Does well. Lawler bearing down on him. And then kicks across the ground, looking for Thomas and finding him. Did well. Daisy under pressure. So which way is he going to go now? Just told to go long, and that's what he does. Where are the Flyers? Mackay's got 2 to beat. Stayed down in the end. Wyatt was there, lost a handle on the footy. Kerr off a step. It's a high ball. It's going across the ground. Oh, I thought Mellington might have had a shot at it, but instead the Blues come up with the mark, and it's Stavrou who's taken it. And he'll have a mark. He'll have a shot, I should say, in the pocket. Still plenty of goal face to look at from 20 out.
He's worked hard today, Stavrou, and deserves a goal here.
Marcus Stavrou steps in. Mellington about 20 metres out. Kick is a good one. Reward for effort. 17-14, 116 playing 11-11-77. 16 minutes gone. in this final quarter on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Stavrou with his first 4 today. Or is it 16-14, 110? I thought it was 17-14, 116.
17, Pete.
Yeah, they've got 17 goals. Let's wait for the scoreboard to update. So, time ticking down. 16 and a half gone in the final quarter. Going to be a big win for the Northern Blues.
Next week's game, Peter Jackson VFL Live. It's going to be Williamstown against Coburg, back in the middle.
I'll give you a score update from Burbank in a moment too. Next stop, Adam.
Hunt kicked it into Phillips. It's still up for grabs. Hunt, clever handball out, and Coburg will get a shot on goal. It's McAvoy directly in front.
So I will give you that score. 12 minutes into the final term. Box Hill 12-10-82. Williamstown 8-12-60.
Peter McAvoy goalless today. He's got 3 so far this season. 17 minutes into the last quarter.
13 individual goal kickers for the Blues today.
It's a good spread. No more than 2 for any player either. As McAvoy comes in the left foot, he's a shank.
Except Gallucci's got 3.
Outside of the boot, that one.
Or have I got that one wrong?
I've got 2 for Gallucci.
No,
I don't think it matters too much because the Blues are going to win. That's what matters. Paulson has it right now for the Blues, and he goes short. That was a bad kick by McAvoy. Paulson gets it back here. The Blues are just racking them up on the last line of defence. Now Thomas in front of Carigliano. Couldn't take the mark, and Posar goes to Hunt, and he goes back to Posar. Carigliano over the top. They had a couple of options out wide that were loose. Exxon was one of them. Kabadier another one. To Carigliano. Onto the boot he goes. Left foot in towards the hot spot. McAvoy again a target. Couldn't take it. At ground level. Out the back it comes to Kerridge. Handball over the top for Phillips. Held on to it. Now a short pass from Pickett's okay, and the Blues out of danger.
Well, you're right. I gave the goal to Gallucci. I should have given it to Cunningham. They're side by side on my score sheet. Anyway, here's Kerridge. Kicking, looking for Mackay. Good mark. Strong mark too. 55 from goal. He's kick looking for Kerr. All on his own. He should run in and put it through. He does. Well, now Kerr's got 3. So now we've got someone. It all worked out in the end. Another goal for the Northern Blues. Oh dear. Another goal for them. They're looking quite strong, and with the talent they've got in this side. Favoured them before the match, and it's come through. 18-14, 122. Plays 11-12-78. 19 minutes gone in the final term on Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Tough time in the MCG, and the undefeated Geelong down by 17 points against the under fire Collingwood. Continues the strange results we see at the top level. Wasn't a great day for our respective clubs yesterday, Hilly.
No, it wasn't, and you can only look forward to next week. Adam?
Great day for the many Blues fans, though, that would have watched their team beat the Swans yesterday. Free kick for a throw here. Things are looking good for not only the Northern Blues, but for Carlton as well. They're going to get a win here today and go to 2-1 in the VFL. We're inside 50, and Jacks takes it uncontested in the end after just disposing of Exxon.
And the fence is completely down now from Coburg.
Now, with the close game that's taking place at Burbank Oval, the Blues have a chance to go above Williamstown on the ladder tonight.
21 points, the margin in favour of Box Hill there.
So it's been a fair turnaround in that one because Williamstown led for most of the first half. The Hawks have come good. All eyes right now on Christian Jacks, and he misses to the near side again. Hilly, got to go right goalpost from that spot.
You do. You can even hang it outside the right goalpost. The wind will bring it back, but too many people are trying to just sort of punt through and punch and hold that spot. But if you aim at the middle of the goals, you genuinely miss from that side.
There's the kick going outside the 50 here for the Lions. Still under pressure. It's been punched back inside the 50. Liam Hunt gets on the end of it. And now dances around a couple. Realises he's got a bit more space to work in, and then kicks up the line. It's going to be turned over again. So the Blues back inside the 50. Lucci, one grab and the seconds. Nicely done. He'll line up and have a shot directly in front 40 out. Had the sit, didn't he? He was waiting there quite a long time.
He's just positioned himself perfectly with that breeze. The ball has been carrying, so it has paid to play just behind a player at this end of the ground.
Who are you going to speak to at the end of the game? Here he is. Kick coming in from Gallucci is a goal. Now he's got 3. I'm just a little bit ahead of myself. Another one for the Northern Blues, and well, they kick clear in this final quarter.
There's been plenty of winners for the Northern Blues, so we'll see who we can grab. But just going down the list, there'd probably be about 7 or 8 players you could choose. 19-15, 129 to 11-12, 78. Northern Blues leading Coburg. 22 minutes gone in this final quarter.
We'll get that score from Williamstown. I can give you a live ladder, Peter Mercado, in a moment.
All right, so I'll give you. So we can give you another score from over there.
Keep an eye on play for the time being. Umpire puts it down back in the middle. Oars in the ruck for Coburg. Got the hand on it. Jumper pulled there. Umpire didn't see it. Ball comes out wide, and Thomas gets it on the broadcast wing. Sends it inside 50. And Mackay takes a good mark. And the Blues faithful love that. He's had a good start to the season, Harry Mackay. Tough angle, though, coming up for this one.
Gee, it was a strong mark.
At his back here, Peter Mercado.
It was a strong mark.
And a great pass from Daisy Thomas.
Yep. Another goal assist here. This goes through.
It is junk time footy here. 2-1 will be their win-loss. The Northern Blues 0-3 for Coburg as Mackay puts it onto the left, and it's a good kick. Can't fault that one. 20-15, 135 plays 11-12. Second goal of the game.
That's what that is.
Trying to get that signal there, Peter Mercado. Just lost the scoreboard there. I was trying to get that score
right,
out
there you go.
Coburg. There it is.
There you go. Have another go at it.
11-12, 78.
So, around the grounds, Box Hill 12-10, 82, leading Williamstown 8-13, 61. 20 minutes gone in the final quarter. Looks like the Box Hill Hawks are going to get the win there.
So I'll give you a live ladder in a moment.
As ball back in the middle. Playing out time now. Time for one more specky from Liam Jones. We'll see as Kerridge. Ball taken away from him. Mullane for the Lions kicking inside the 50. Now I'm going to take the mark. Curtis was there. Back to Kabadia. Working back now to Mellington. He's still inside the centre square. Now kicking up towards the top of the goal square. Holdsworth comes out. Can't take the mark. Still got the numbers here. The Northern Blues, and they should clear. The kick going wide. Looking for Kerr, who gets in. Sliding mark just near the boundary line on centre wing. Just backward of centre for Kerr, who kicks. Jax has got 2 to beat. Did well to affect the spoil, though, on Carigliano and bring it to ground. And Wilson just tacks it onto the boot. Inside 50 they go. Boakhurst trying to keep it in. He paddled it in beautifully. He should have a shot. No, he goes across. And that's unselfish play. Oh, yes. And running down, Kerridge takes the mark. Great vision from Boakhurst. Excellent stuff. Hilly, you were right in front of that too.
That was sensational sidestep and centering ball. He could have blazed, but he could certainly see Kerridge out of the corner of his eye. It was fantastic
You
football.
think you're that far in front, you might as well just have a go at it. But team first footy, I reckon that'll please Josh Fraser. And Sam Kerridge has already kicked a goal today. That was in the second quarter. Can add a bit more icing on the cake. 25 minutes gone in the final quarter. 20 metres out. Kerridge makes no mistake. 22-15, 1-4-7. The Northern Blues, and they are putting a lot of icing on the cake at the moment because Coburg, well, they're stranded 11-12, 78.
Live ladder, Northern Blues up to 5th with this score the way it is at the moment and what's happening at Williamstown. The Seagulls are now down to 10th on the ladder, 1 and 2. Coburg obviously 0-3, but their percentage nowhere near as bad as North Ballarat. Looking for the Box Hill Hawks.
24 minutes gone in the final quarter, 12-12-84. Williamstown 8-13-61.
So the way it's looking, Box Hill and Port Melbourne will be the 2 remaining undefeated teams in the Peter Jackson VFL. After 3 rounds, we've got an even competition this year. Only 2 teams remain undefeated. After only 3 rounds, Kerridge, hand pass out, and Wilson sends the Blues up towards half forward. Ricocheted off Exxon's boot. And had Blythe taken that, it would have been an accidental mark. Instead, though, he got claimed high. Free kick advantage paid. Wyatt went short, then there's no advantage. It's coming all the way back to Blythe. inside defensive 50. He's going to go short into the middle of Coburg City Oval. It wasn't a great option. It's claimed by Mellington. Hand pass out now. McAvoy kept on going, went wide to Lawler, and now it's in the hands of Carigliano. He goes short. Good passage from Coburg after getting a free kick off half-back. It's in the hands of Dodge. Kicked a nice goal earlier in the game. He goes high and long for the square. Cleanly went over the top of all of that. Holdsworth at the full. Stays in play temporarily. Boundary throw in now. 141 plays 78. Big win coming up for the Northern Blues. They'll be 5th on the ladder tonight.
6-1 final quarter in favour of the Blues as well as the ball's tossed back in. Goodwin just grabbing out of the ruck, just trying to go around the body. It was partially smothered. Plenty of Blues numbers here as they look just to protect the footy heading outside the 50. They get the exit ball, but it might be turned over again. Dangerous ball. Cleary trying to run onto it. And now they've got an opportunity as Lawler for the Lions works inside the 50. They just need to be clean. Lawler will end up with this. Receives from Allen. He's kicked. They're lining up. Oh, they almost fought each other, Goodwin and Mullane. And smart move by the skipper to leave it for Blake Mullane. Tricky shot this one because kicking into the breeze. He's kicked 4 goals today, Blake Mullane. And he'll be kicking this from 52 metres out. Plenty of goal face to look at. We're right behind the kick. Instead, he decides to go a bit shorter and kicks it to Goodwin. So all's well that ends well. They both flew for the mark and they both got their hands on the footy.
Smart football from Mullane there because he certainly would have struggled with the distance. And now Goodwin, the captain, got a huge chance.
Directly in front, 45 metres he will kick from. 28 minutes gone in the final quarter. Goodwin stepping inside the 50 now. He's kick. Has it got the trip? Nah, it's marked on the last line of defence by Phillips. So his opposition ruckman was doing the right thing, standing on the goal line. So Phillips will attack the boundary line on the grandstand side. The fist coming through there from Cleary, just to the line. A little bit of push and shove sort of stuff going on. And as we wind down this clash, the Battle of Bell Street, this clash going the way of the Northern Blues as it's tossed back in. Vicky Cleary Day punts, kicks into a couple of players in front of him. It ricochets back, and now we have another stalemate, and we'll have it tossed up again. 141 plays 78. Blues leading Coburg. We've gone 29 minutes in the final term.
It's getting gloomy here at Coburg. And team is 0-3 after this result. Goodwin goes inside 50 and hits the target. And what we're going to have
it again
is potentially
yes!
on all 4 final sirens of each quarter a Coburg goal. Kabadia.
That has to be a record. That has to be a record.
Well, Hisham Kabadia needs to kick the goal line.
Come on, kick the goal.
Another local product out of Hadfield. Dad Rick will be around watching somewhere.
Kick the goal.
Saw Rick yesterday. He kicks a point.
Oh, come on.
Hisham Kabadia misses. It won't matter. Final score 21-15, 141 the Northern Blues. Coburg 11-13, 79.
Have a listen to the song.
We are the Northern Blues. We are the old dark Northern Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team all fans should know. We're all the champions. They like to stand up. We'll keep our end up. And they will know that they've been playing against the famous Northern Blues.
Well, it was 10 points the lead for the Blues at quarter time, 35 points at half time, 30 points at 3/4 time, and 62 points all up the wash up. 21-15, 141 to 11 goals, 13-79. For the Blues today, 3 goals for Andrew Gallucci, 3 goals for Patrick Kerr, 2 goals to Liam Jones and Sam Kerridge, and singles to Buckley, Phillips, Thomas, Jacks, Cunningham, Boakhurst, and Dennis Armfield kicking 2 goals in there too. And for the Lions, 4 goals to Blake Mullane, 2 goals to Keenan Poser, and singles to Blair, Dodge and Holdsworth. So convincing win for the Northern Blues, 62 points the final margin.
Against the famous Northern Blues.
Pete, just joined by Liam Jones. Fantastic effort from your crew today.
Yeah, it was really good. I think we really focused on backing up because we had a really good win against Williamstown last week. And to back it up like that today, and we knew they would come out hard. It was an important match for them and us as well, and to get the result was really pleasing.
Your efforts in the air today certainly were noticed.
Yeah, well, I played a few different roles this year, playing in the back line and at the back and forward, and I think just some days they were sitting well in the hand, so I was just trying to make a contest for the team.
I'm glad you mentioned that because we feel that you've really freed your game up a bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's given me a new challenge, I think, after playing forward line for most of my career, AFL and VFL. It's to go in the back line, go in the ruck. It's really given me a new challenge, and I'm really enjoying it.
It would have been nice to have Daisy Thomas at your feet today as well.
He was on fire, yeah. He did so many selfless things. He kicked one or two and then gave about 10 off as well. So it was really good to have him back down here with the attitude that he had. He played really well.
And also, does Josh Fraser really preach that team first mentality because there was a lot of centred balls today?
Yeah, he does. He's all about unity, and the alignment that we've got with the Northern Blues and Carlton is really strong, and that's showing in our football.
Fantastic, mate. I'll let you go over and join in the celebration.
Thanks, mate.
Nicely done. Thank you there, Hilly, with Liam Jones. As we have the presentation happening out on the ground, Phil Cleary is there. And as he's just revving up, we might see if we can get in.
Our boys to have pinched the game or been a fraction closer, but such is life. Good young side, and Tommy, good work to you.
So
and we
this
just
is Phil
hand the
Cleary.
figurine over. It's a kind of not a replica of Vicky, but it's supposed to be an image of a woman and a sense of justice. It's great to see a champion player with us today. Thank you. And so what we're doing is, Daisy, good on you. Good on you. Can spread the message for us as one of the senior people in the world of football. Josh, good man. I love talking with you at the Northern Blues breakfast. Tommy, good work to you. So I just hand this over. I have to admit it does come back to me because we're not going to pass it around like a trophy, but we have the symbolism of the two of you holding it. And the march goes on and the campaign goes on to have a better world, a better society that's more respectful of women. And we've got some of my comrades from an anti-violence committee with me here today, and it's beautiful to be here. And it's been a wonderful day.
So the presentation of the figurine to Tom Wilson and Josh Fraser as the...
Thank you very much. It was a beautiful day. Thank you. Vicky would have loved it. And Gary O'Sullivan, beautiful work. Thank you.
And a few photos being taken there, Tom Wilson and Josh Fraser. So wonderful scenes here today. It's been an amazing day. The Vicky Cleary tribute day, and I see Dennis Armfield though calls close to him too. And we saw Daisy Thomas there being singled out as well, and plenty of photos and shake of hands from Tom Goodwin coming across too, and they're just going to have some photos both sides together, which is great to see as well. So magnificent scenes here out on the ground. Now, all these photos are taking place. Have we got a final score yet at Burbank Oval?
8-1 in the second half for the Box Hill Hawks, and they get a win. They are undefeated to start season 2017. 13-12, 90 Box Hill, Williamstown. A 14-60 to what is no doubt a windy Burbank Oval. It's hardly ever still there.
No,
so
exactly.
Good win for the Hawks. They remain undefeated alongside the Borough.
Absolutely, as we see the two teams shaking hands. Coburg making their way off the ground. The Blues about to do the same. We might see a sneaky chance, Hilly, maybe of getting the song. We'll see where Hilly is tracking around to. The final score here, 21-15, 141 to 11-13, 79. A 62-point win for the Northern Blues.
The right knee of Reece Palmer heavily iced up. We didn't see much of him in the second half. That seems to be the only real injury concern for the Blues to come out of this one.
The Blues players make their way into the rooms, and they're a pretty happy crew. So just go through those ladder positions too while we've got the opportunity.
Yep, the
Adam?
ladder is complete for round 3. This is your top 4 in the Peter Jackson VFL. Undefeated on top of the ladder. How about this for a story? Port Melbourne, the standalone Port Melbourne, 3-0. Box Hill also 3-0 after beating Williamstown today. Richmond flying in the AFL, flying in the VFL. They're 2-1, as are Footscray, last year's runner-up. There's your top four. Fifth today after this result, the Northern Blues, a percentage of 1 at 21. Plenty of 2-1s around the league at the moment, Peter Mercado. Geelong also 2-1. That's sixth position. Sandringham and Essendon at 1 and 2 rounds out the top 8 in the Peter Jackson VFL. I'll try and get through to bottom 6 before the song if we can get it. It's Casey at a 1 and 2 as we speak. Williamstown, after the loss today, slipped down to 10th. They started the day in the top 8. Werribee is at 1 and 2, as is Collingwood, and 0 and 3. 13th is Coburg with a percentage of 60.9 at 6, and North Ballarat that have really struggled so far this year. The Roosters, they are last, 14th spot, and a pretty worrying percentage of 29.67.
Fair to say, we're going to struggle to get the song down there. Take our word for it, they're singing it at the moment. But let's take a look at round 4 in the Peter Jackson VFL. Simmons Stadium is the location. On Saturday, 11 o'clock at Simmons Stadium. It's Geelong and the Box Hill Hawks. Big game, that one. At Frankston Oval, Essendon are playing a home game down at Frankston, which is great to see. They're getting a lot of groundswell support, the Dolphins, which is magnificent. Thank you, Hilly, for that. I don't think we got much of the song, but thank you for your work today. You can come back up from the rooms. But Essendon are playing Port Melbourne, 12 o'clock at Frankston Oval. If you want to see the Dolphins get back into the competition, make sure you're there and supporting them. The TV game is Sandringham and North Ballarat, Trevor Barker Beach Oval, 2:10 bounce down. They're moving back the time. At Etihad Stadium, Footscray taking on Richmond. That's a 3 o'clock bounce ahead of the big game that night. And then Sunday games at Victoria Park, Collingwood taking on the Northern Blues, 1 o'clock bounce. At Hogan's Road Reserve in Hoppers Crossing, Werribee, the travelling Werribee taking on the Casey Demons. And at Burbank Oval, our match for broadcast, 2 o'clock bounce, 1:45 on air, Williamstown taking on Coburg.
Yeah, some unique venues there, and our friend Paul Amy saw reported during the week that Frankston do have a major sponsor, so hopefully the Dolphins can get themselves back into the VFL.
Yes, and they're building some nice support with membership there as well. We had the news during the week that Werribee and North Melbourne going to be standing alone, breaking apart their alignment next season. So many different storylines to talk about in the Peter Jackson VFL. As you will hear on 3WBC tomorrow night from 7 o'clock, VFL Rewind, Paul Hooper and Anthony Stangett's wrapping up the round of footy. And then we're back next week, next Sunday afternoon from 1:45 at Burbank Oval. It's Williamstown and Coburg. Big game coming up. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Hilly, as well, for your work today. And we will catch you again in 7 days' time right here on Peter Jackson VFL Live. We look forward to your company then.